are live, in theory. Why is there no sound? Well, there is sound. Why is there no music? I guess there's just no music over here. Well, anyways, hi everyone! I was logging on, and I happened to run into the chat, and turns out both my mod and one of my fellow archons were talking about stealing panties. So that's the beginning of my day today. How's everybody doing? Let me check on chat. Hello, everyone. Hey, Ray Ray. Hello, Chris. Hey, Issa. Hey, Auroria. Thank you for your ever common lurking. Atelier. Hi, hi. Hey, D. Hello, everyone. Good, good. I'm glad everything's going good, Atelier. I'm probably going to mention this later on as well, but probably, especially because people will be tricking in, but we're going to be doing our usual things where we're going to be doing a warrior quest, at least one or two, before we get into it. But at least for this stream and potentially the next couple, all money that goes into Super Chat is going to try to be pooled into creating a collection of buying a bunch of the T emotes, and then either doing a raffle or a quiz or some kind of giveaway or something for all the people in the Discord community. So if you are in the Discord community or are someone who is prone to putting up super chats, know that it will be going towards everyone as a broad spectrum. So that should be fun. In the meantime, let me make sure. Hey Brian, glad to have you here. Glad it's your first time? Either way, thanks for showing up. Glad to have you here. The Jelly, hello, hello. Brotherhood, hello as usual. And yeah, Chris is just now shouting about the T emote. So, because we were all joking because the Eorzean archives, T-E-A-T, so our acronym is T, and everyone was making jokes about the T-sip and emotes that just came out recently. Now, in the meantime, I have chat on the wrong screen. Let's get you on the right screen. There we go. Hey, AC, glad to have you. Oh, okay, Issa's just sitting here sipping tea. Okay, well, with that said, let's get to the question. Hello, welcome back, my friend. I can see that you have not neglected your training. For my part, I fear the deciphering of the ancient chronicles of my people is proving to be a much more demanding task than I had imagined. Mind you, it hasn't helped that I've been somewhat preoccupied of late. A comrade of mine from days in the company of heroes asked me to do a favor, and it's taken me back and forth across the realm like some bloody fairy. I'm on a hunt for some mysterious feral beasts that have been terrorizing small folk. People don't know where the monstrosity came from, but witnesses say its thirst for blood is unlike anything they've ever seen. Unfortunately, the time I've spent in pursuit of the beasts is time I have not spent studying the chronicles, and I'm sorry to say I have made little progress. However, while on the road, I was able to decipher one passage that may be of interest to us both. From what I can gather, the chronicles tell of an ancient set of armor forged by my ancestors in the flames of the Seven Hells, and inscribed with the same arcane incantations that adorn the soul of the warrior. It would seem that this mighty armor was passed down from hero to apprentice for centuries, until one man, driven by rage and vainglory, cast all 5 pieces from Abelathia's highest peak. Since that day, the armor has remained lost, and with it, the power that it harbors. As far as I can make out, the next passage in the Chronicles concerned the whereabouts of these missing artifacts, though I've only been able to make sense of the odd word thus far. Still, I must confess to some excitement. Imagine what a warrior clad in such garb could achieve. Ah, if only my brother were here. We could decipher the text together and spread the teachings of our people to the entire realm. Alas, he is not. His whereabouts are as hidden to me as those of the ancient armor. I would have liked you to meet him, if only so that you could have looked upon a true warrior. Well, perhaps you still shall. Eorzea is not as large as most people perceive. Paths cross, fates intertwine. Such is the will of the spinner. Referring to Nymea there. It may be that my brother has chosen a similar path to mine, but I've rambled long enough. You're here to take the next step in your training, and so I shall oblige. In the southern reaches of Hydaelyn is the Sigoli Desert, a god-forsaken wasteland of naught but sand that stretches as far as the eye can see. It is here that the Leviathan of the Dune lurks, a sandworm of gargantuan proportions. When facing this mammoth creature, you'll soon realize that the feeble hacks and slashes of your puny axe are ill-suited to the task of felling such a foe. But do not let this dissuade you. Wake the slumbering beast within, and summon forth the strength that transcends the limits of your physical form. Mind you, first you'll have to find the beast, and that might prove a tall order in itself. The U tribe that inhabits Forgotten Springs is wise to the movements of wise to the movements of the denizens of the desert. Should you want for guidance, I'll wager that you could set you on the right direction. Ooh, we're gonna go to the U tribe. Let's go ahead and teleport there. Did I unlock the U tribe? Nope, I didn't. So we're gonna go to Little Alamigo. Oh, I don't have Little Alamigo unlocked. Okay, well, we're gonna run from Dragon. So that way we can get Alamigo. What server is he on? Oh, speaking of, thank you for, we created a free company. I keep trying to say guild. We also have Crossworld Link Shell. We are on Curl, Crystal Curl, CC, and we already have quite a few members, and we are already saving money. We already have quite a bit of money, over 100 million gil for a house. However, we have to wait 30 days before we can buy a house now due to new stipulations. But it is already beginning a fun time. We already have a bunch of people who've been hanging out and doing content together in their free time. And even if you're unable to join that because it's on Curl, we do have the Crossworld Link Shell. So if you'd like to join into that, I believe Ray or Issa can give you Issa can give you a invite to that. I may be able to as well. However, I will be doing the stream, so a little bit busy. You know what's good with tea? Something sweet with it. Cookies and cakes. You know, honestly, I don't, like, for me, I don't like tea with food goods. I like tea with, I love green tea with honey and sugar. That's how I like it. Maybe fruits. Yeah. Did someone say coffee biscuits? Dude, that has not been a thing since the 5.x series. They got rid of that. Okay, Gold Railway's covering that. Curious Gorge, aren't you wearing the ancient armor? Yeah, oh, never mind. Yeah, Tillier, I was thinking the same thing. Oh, hey, Nick. Glad to have you. Oh, I forgot. It's a stream day. I hope you are all doing well. Hope you're doing well as well, Nick. Yeah, for anyone who is not aware, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday are stream days. Wednesday is when we put out a new video, and Fridays when there is book club, as well as gives me time to edit videos. Saturday is our community stream, so that's if you have anything you want to accomplish, like if you want to get a minion, you want to get a triple triad card, there's a trial series you haven't done, you really wanted to get an extreme trial done, or a mount from one. Just let us know in the Discord chat, and we just get together and we farm content together to make sure everyone gets the things done that they want to get done. What's the old Rogadan word for yellow hat? Oh, okay. Actually, I can answer that. Give me a second. Let me pull up my Rogadan dictionary. Okay, yellow is feel. Oh, is there not a word for hat? There's not a word for helm either. Okay, let's see if there's I have to manually look real quick. If I don't find anything soon, I'll but the word for yellow is feel. Chestnut, chain, kettle, crane, chast, calf, coddle, burdock, child, brook, near, naughty, curl, queen, king, bent, chalk, crystal, copper, champion. Not seeing any. Well, okay. There's not a word for armor. There's not a word for helmet. There's not a word for helm. But we do have the word for clothing or clothes, which is also used interchangeably with a lot of different types of clothes. So it, in theory, should be filo would be the word for yellow hat. Say guild 2. Yeah, D. I feel like a lot of people, whether if you're coming from other MMOs or have just played MMOs for a long time, it's become the universal term. Hey, Professor, howdy. I'm going to be moving my character from Goblin to Curl to join T. Oh, awesome, Professor. We're super excited to have you. And I appreciate your sacrifice, for lack of a better way to put it. Yeah, I hope, I very much hope we make it worth it for you. Oh my god. Oh, right, because of the entry, I think, is above ground. Yay, that's quite a bit of money for our house. Yeah, thank the people who donated. I have yet to put any money in it on this character, so, okay, nope, it's just, there's not an interest there. Okay, well, we're going back outside. Oh, actually, since we're here, if you're in Little Alamigo and you're wondering where the Stone of Ralgar is, there's a stone for each of the 12 all across of Eorzea, and this is the one for Ralgar, and it is found in Little Alamigo, which is fitting because of Alamigo's association with Ralgar the Destroyer. Oh, that's because it's over here, that's why. We have 2 rooms and an apartment to hang out as well. Yes! Yes, we have Issa and Ray Ray both have setups for housing, so if you want to hang out in houses while we wait, we have apartments that are very nicely decorated. We have 2 rooms and an apartment. Yeah, I'm a member. I love the people in the FC. Aw, thanks, D. And the link shell. Yeah, I love tea with milk. Yeah, okay, I do love green tea with milk. And I know I'm way behind. This is not because there's a lag. I'm just trying to get to everything. Bubble tea. I love taro slushes. That's my taro slush with boba. That's my favorite bubble tea. Okay, so I'm counting 25 official primals that we fought, which still doesn't count for the 4 Lords quest or the ultimate weapons. Oh, hey, Power. I don't know if I said hi. I'm not sure what that was a specific reference to, but I mean, also the 4 Lords and the ultimate weapons don't count, obviously, because they're not primals. Let me try to fire. Hey, Lore, hi, glad to have you. Hello, my T Black. Greetings from Orlando, Florida. Hey, Catherine, good to see you. Where it's I love that you always say what the weather is for you, and I also, well, I don't curse you. 89's a bit high for me. You're most welcome. Oh, good. Catherine, you. Oh, new job. Okay, we can talk about new job in a little bit, but first, let's catch up on track. Been wondering, are dragon languages and games inspired from the same language? Aren't Final Fantasy XIV dragons speak an Elder Scrolls dragon language almost similar? They do have they're completely different grammar structures. However, they do sound somewhat similar because of the way in which we, like, as a Western and Eastern audience, think of dragon speech. I've been wondering. I know I've got an apartment. Oh, sorry, Liz. Sorry, thank you, Ray Ray. It's not you. Now I'm creepy too. Oh, D, thank you so much. I'm sorry you sent that a little bit ago, but I was trying to catch up. Oh, wow. Everyone thank D. For those of you in the Discord, that money is going to be going towards getting people the tea emote so people can drink, sip on the tea emote because, you know, tea, the Eorzean archives. I made an announcement at the top of the stream that we would be, all money during the stream that was put towards that would be going towards getting people the tea emote. We're probably going to do a raffle, or maybe we'll do a quiz night or something like that to distribute them. With 50, if I'm not mistaken, that's already 10 that we have to distribute. I thought we were going to get at most maybe like 5 during the stream. So thank you very, very, very much, D. I hope that you enjoy it being put back into the community. That was reference to a question you had a few days ago trying to count how many primals we fought. Oh, okay, nice, Power. Thank you for going and looking that up. And Catherine, don't let me forget about your point about new jobs. The Leviathan of the Dunes saw the fearsome bugger not a week ago, preying on a group of merchants south of Byregut's Strike. The smart ones dropped their wares, turned tail, and ran. The dumb ones, well, at least they can say they died rich. So fun fact about Seekers of the Summit Kote while we're here. They're basically a giant harem. So there's the male Noon, which is the leader of the tribe. And so Uod Noon, he's the leader. And this is one of his sons, who's Ukuba. Tia. So anytime you see Tia, that means you are a non-ruling male member of a tribe. So he is, that's how you distinguish between Noon and Tia. So Graha Tia is one of the male members of the G tribe, but he is not the leading member. There's only one. And then all the females are just have, you know, regular names, and their last names are based on their father's primary name. So Od. So they're probably all named Od. You know, it's like Umolpa Od. Yeah, everyone make sure to clap and thank D, because they just did y'all a solid. Sandworms are particularly sensitive to vibrations in the earth, such as those made by running. I just realized the sandworms are literally just the worms from Dune. In this, 14, they're literally just the worms from Doom. The Shai-Hulud. I swear to God, if there's a worm named Shai-Hulud or something like that, I'm gonna laugh. If you're looking to summon one of the beasts, then I suggest you search for their tracks. The run about making as much of clamor as possible. I would also suggest you seek a cure for your madness. Does Odin have anything? Pray, do not cause a disturbance while staying in the Forgotten Springs. We have enough pressing concerns as is. Does King Thornton in Heavensward count as 1 or 13? He would count as 1 because he empowers his knights more than he raises them up to primal form. I mean, you could argue they're primal forms if you want to say that they're in the same avenue as Shiva, but that is, I think, an interpretive thing. I would say 1 because they are only empowered so because of him. But I think there's room to debate that. Aye, I've seen the beasts. Stand 3 malms high. He does, and stirs up sandstorms with each writhe and wriggle. Showed up in my hunting field some years ago, and has been swallowed up my would-be prey in that gaping maw of his ever since. Laura, I posted a video link on the Discord and lore discussion about the dragon language and how they developed it. Oh, good, Nick. Yes, good to link to that. What bubble tea would Warrior be? Well, I mean, we've talked about cherry. I've never seen a cherry bubble tea. I feel like it would either have to be something cherry flavored or something spicy. Oh my god, let's try to catch up while I'm running over here. Be back in a bit. Okay, Sea of Power. Technically, each Tia could be a son of a Prius Noon, but yeah. Yes, that is technically true, though not super common because the passing and title of Noon is not relatively common. But yes, that is technically true. But the broad point of what I was getting at stands. On rare occasions, can a tribe have 2 Noons? No. Well, yes, but also no. Because what happens when that happens is that typically the other Noon is excised or is only existing as an interim period leader. Usually, in almost no examples, like there's the M-tribe stuff, which is a little weird, but even that is like, there aren't really 2 Noons so much as there is an interim need for 2 people to help lead, or also 1 person occupying a position that they then step down from, or another person leaving because they feel they need to, or so yes, in the most technical of senses, but effectively not really. And typically more often than not what happens is that either there's a fight for leadership or 1 Noon is just like, I don't want to fight, and leaves. I started my Black Mage relic yesterday. They're a really good way to level to 60. Black Mage for Heavensward or Black Mage for A Realm Reborn? Because if Heavensward, yeah, doing there's a lot of great reasons to do. I mean, there's a lot of reasons to do the Heavensward relics because they're super easy to do while doing other content as well. I started at home and it feels great. Been playing the game for a while now and the connections were just not there. Although I have a few good friends, this feels at home to me now. Aw, D, I'm glad. And I hope that can continue to be the case for you and others as well. And I will continue to make sure that that is propagated out best I can. I want it to be a space where people it's like not just about me or Issa or Maniri or any of the people in Eorzean Archives. Like it is, sure that is, we're facilitating it. But also, I want people to be able to meet and interconnect and feel like they have a space, or not just a space, but a way to meet people that is not just super putting yourself out there, because I know that's super hard. Yes, the N-Tribe was so big at the time that they had 2 Noons until the Guardians took over. Alamigo was one of the Noons, and one of the Noons returned. Yeah, it's a little more complicated than that. But yes, effectively yes. Catherine, Swordsmaster. Okay, talking about new jobs. There was the other one earlier. Swordsmaster, Sabermaster, Rapier, Duelist. So the thing is that those are all covered already. The Red Mage is already literally a duelist. It uses magic too, but it is a duelist. I think what you'd see more of is something like a Corsair, where you'd be sword and pistol or something like that, mixed with maybe like a luck-based mechanic or something in that ballpark. And even that I don't necessarily think is super common. There was the other point that you had, Catherine, the other idea, which is new job, Scout, Ranger, Cartographer. I don't think we'd see Cartographer as a job because I don't know how you create a meaningful identity around that as a job. I think you could see it as an occupation, but I'm not sure how you'd see it as a job. I mean, I've been on my huge ban on geomancy. I'd also point to the fact that in most recent interviews, especially ones over the past year, Yoshi P has repeatedly stated that a lot of the new jobs are likely to be wholesale new for 14, or wholesale new for Final Fantasy. And it's also worth remembering that as much as Sage has technically existed in other Final Fantasies, this version hasn't, and Newliths are brand new to Final Fantasy. And on top of that, while technically scythes have existed as weapons in some Final Fantasies, Reaper is effectively wholesale new as well. So I would suspect that while there may be some classic jobs yet to come, a lot of them will be brand new, and you're best off looking to the lore of 14 as we've seen it thus far. And even that may not be worth it because a lot of it may be tied to Mericidia, New World, other reflections, places we haven't been, in such a way that you may not have tools to accurately predict what might come next. Elio, your crystal grows ever stronger. In felling the raging sandworm, the beast within you slowly but surely rouses to wakefulness. When next you do battle, methinks you will find yourself capable of movements hitherto unfamiliar to you. When you have mastered your talents, return to me. In the meanwhile, I shall continue my study on the ancient texts. And that is my warrior quest for today. I also realized that at the pace we're going, I'm hoping we may have to start doing side quests. I'm thinking we're going to do Hildebrand. Actually, Ray, I don't know if you can. I can make it if not. Are people interested in me doing Hildebrand sometime between 2.0 and 2.x? I think I'm gonna not have to, but I want to take time to do maybe side quest or Hildebrand or stuff to give more times for patch content to come out, because I'd like to do duty supports with throughout the entire replay where possible, and we aren't getting like we're not getting Heaven's Word until 6.2 and 6.3, and we're not getting Stormblood until like 6.4. So we've got quite a few months, and at the rate that we're going, in order to fill time, it might be worth doing side quests. So we may do, like, when we finish 2.0, we may go do all of the side quests for Realm Reborn, and then start doing 2.x or something like that. Relics are great for those sweet achievement points. That too. This is the first game where I've ever given a crap about something like achievement points or gamer score. Okay, your G-pose settings would make it really hard for me to see the AoEs. Not sure what that was referring to. AR Black Mage Relic. Oh god, I have 2 ARR weapons. The ARR Relic weapons are nightmares. Just like they're great weapons. They're beautiful, but the process to getting them is awful, in my opinion. But I think by far and away, I find it easier to get 2 Heaven's Word weapons in the time to get 1. And by easier, I don't just mean difficulty. I also mean just like brain space. Oh, I don't even remember what my accent was for Busker. Say, friend, there's something I'd like to ask you to deliver to the sylphs of Little Solace. This is Zima's rose oil. Azima, the warden, one of the members of the 12, has the Sabak as the sun boat as her symbol. It's a gift to celebrate the safe return of their tribe's elder, and a token of Gridania's desire to unite. This wood is not what it once was. The calamity changed the elementals and weakened them. This is important. I'm gonna note that I was looking for examples of things like that. I'm gonna put that in notes. Is that the elementals are much weaker than they were during the time of 1.0? Because if you've played 1.0 or know the story of 1.0, the elementals were much more vicious and much bigger of a threat and a worrisome thing during that time, to just everyone, including the people of Gridania. 7th, Umbral Calamity, weakened elementals. The wood is not what it once was. The calamity changed the elementals and weakened them. Until their strength is returned, we must lend them ours to keep the wood safe. But ours alone will not be enough. We must have the strength of the sylphs as well. Only by working together and fighting together will we survive together. And the 12s would with us. The gift I ask you to bear is a symbol of the hope that both Gridanian and sylph alike will live to see the light beyond this darkness. Okay, I just want to laugh at the fact that while it's a gift of peace, he did just give a bunch of oil named after the goddess of fire to the people that are literally made of plants. Just a thought. Okay, let's catch up on... I'm a fan of they're going to the route of original jobs. It sounds fun. Yeah, me too, AC. And I think the thing is, a lot of it's going to be rooted in 14 lore or in things inspired by prior existing games. So I don't think they're going to be all wholesale uninspired by anything that came before, unless they absolutely have to go that route. I got money on a new job using a crossbow. Yeah, I think that's possible. Do you think they could ever add another Disciple of Land? I think they would if they feel that there is any way that makes sense. I think if they come up with something where they're like, oh, this system would be a great use of this, they'll do it. So could they? Absolutely, I think so. Will they? I don't know how likely it is. But I do not think it is a no, we will never do it situation. One other problem with some jobs is making the history and lore of the job viable with a compelling story in the game. Yeah, I do think that they're pretty good at making a way to make that work, especially if we think about like new jobs being tied to Hingashi, Mericidia, New World, any other part of Othard we haven't been to, like, oh, I actually already have that. Like, you know, the Dval and Groth, or parts of Ilsabar we haven't been to yet, that there's so much story to explore there that they have room to make something wholesale, like, out of, you know, completely fresh, while also telling a broader story. Like, the Reaper didn't just come about, it's like, oh, it's a Garlean thing, here you go. It's also like, oh, it's a Garlean thing, and it's tied to the Void, and it's tied to this legacy of Corvos that's super important that we're going to be talking about a bunch in this next expansion. So, like, the Reaper was tied to, like, 12 different things at once, you know? Ooh, let's see what this guy has to say. Ah, believe it or not, these cellars once crawled with beasts. The Order of the Twin Adder came here and cleaned them all out, though. 12's bless their hearts. I tell you, I'd love to split a cask of Montuy brew with the adders that helped me back to work. Interesting enough. A lot of, just wait, drink that. They say Montuy brew is an essential ingredient in many Gridanian dishes. If you ask me, it's just an excuse to let the chief drink without arousing suspicion. That's funny. I only got 200 characters in here for messages. I'm not sure what this reference to. In fan, they're going to do you think they could ever add one another problems? Corsairs, what I imagine. Sorry, might have to jump forward. Interesting when unknown places of FFXIV map developed. Yeah, there's just literally more of the map is undeveloped for us than is developed when it comes to the source, frankly. Like, literally, there's one continent the size of the 3 great continents out here that on its side is as big as these 3. There's Mericidia, which is about the size of these, like, near the size of these 2 combined. Ilsabard is still covered in clouds. As much as we technically know about Dalmasca down here, we know about, you know, Baja in here and Corvos in here. We know Dalmasca is, like, somewhere in here in the Ilsabardian mountain range, probably somewhere in here, but we don't know the exact locations. We don't know where Landis is. We don't know where that, and this is the, like, so there's more we don't know about the source, let alone reflections, let alone about the Sea of Stars, you know. Weird question. Not sure if it's true. Weren't nuns the only one allowed to mate? That is correct, Brotherhood. If so, what Jinn malfunction would not become a thing? Yeah, that's a question a lot of people ask. There's not a good answer. So, yes, one thing to remember is that Noons have many different wives, and while they can be other Mikote can come from the outside and join a tribe. It's not all just within in and of itself. But yes, in theory, that should be a problem. It is hand waved away as like it's not a problem. Yes to Hildebrand. Okay, sorry, I gotta go to the end. I have the power of the unlimited power. I'm assuming that's Issa doing that. I think farming could eventually become a disciple of the land. Well, farming already exists. Could it be developed into one? I guess. But the thing is that that's not an overworld thing. Like, if let's say they make that a part of Island Sanctuary, right? That's not a mechanic in which you can engage with the broader world, so it makes more sense to keep it the way it is. Because leveling it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and like if you can't level it if you don't have an Island Sanctuary or an FC house, I'm not against it. I'm just like, I can see there's a lot of problems with that. Geomancy might be a trait that's already suggested in world, depends if they can differentiate. I mean, I made that whole video on Geomancer. If you haven't watched it, I made an entire video a couple of months back about why I think that one of the 7.0 jobs will be Geomancer. But there's a ton of reasons to think so. And yeah, Chrissy, I don't know if I said hi, Chrissy. Hi, Chrissy. And yes, I touched on all of that in that video, which I highly recommend. Actually, if Ray or Issa, you want to link it, feel free to. If they ever did another Department of Land, I'd like the Trapper job, something that helps farm animal bits like skin bones, etc. Ooh, Chrissy, that's a great point. I think that would be most helpful. A gift from Walking One, Buscaron. A gift for these ones. Such a lovely scent. This one has never smelled anything like this before. Walking One, Buscaron, and Adventuring One are very kind. Now this one is deeply grateful. Many Walking Ones are scary. Many Walking Ones utter many lies and much deception. But this one is moved. Let all of these ones be friends forever. Any of these useful? Yes, they are. Cool. This one has been expecting Walking One. This one fetches Elder One. This one is pleased to see Walking One again. Welcome home to these ones. Ah, there, Elio! We have just been hearing tell of your deeds, daring do. Well done. Ah, the Walking Ones who aid in Eorzean. This one is grateful. A pleasure to meet you. A pleasure to have been of service. If you don't mind asking, how did your misadventures come about? This one does not mind. The misadventures, as Walking One calls them, of this one began with the Imperial Ones entered the wood. Fearing trouble, these ones decided to watch Imperial Ones closely. But these ones watched too closely, and Imperial Ones noticed and tried to catch these ones. Having nowhere else to hide, these ones fell into Todorok. Would that this one had not. In Todorok, a sinister one robed in black tried to feed this one to many-legged one. A sinister one robed in black? Why do I have the feeling I should be more worried about this than I am? Helpful, Ida. Elder Frixio, we've come to you as an emissary of the nation of Gridania. This missive bears the words of the Elder Seatsier. There you go. This one sees. So Walking One of Gridania are fearful of Lord Ramu. Plainly put, yes. Your people are summoned the Lord of Leven but once, yet that single occurrence occasioned great alarm. But is it not Gridania's dislike of you or anything? Actually, it's just the opposite. They think of you as friends. They don't want anything to get in the way of that. That's why the Elder Seatsier wrote to you. That is perilously close to being like, they wouldn't want any harm to come to you. This one well knows and respects Honored One Kani Sena. Be assured, like Walking One of Gridania, these ones have no desire for conflict. These ones resorted to summoning Lord Ramu to protect the wood from Imperial Ones. This one counseled against doing so, but was not heeded. Against this one wishes, Lord Ramu was summoned, and all those ones who took part became Touched Ones. These ones want so desperately to turn Touched Ones back to normal ones, but did not know how, and still do not. Touched Ones, meanwhile, wanted to turn these ones into Touched Ones, and did know how. So this one fled to little solace with these ones who did not wish to be bound to Lord Ramu. Fun fact about Ramu, real quick. Ramu does not temper sylphs unless they ask to be tempered. His summoning basically kind of resulted in a lot of people around him being tempered, but he does not try to temper sylphs unless they're like, we want to be tempered, temper us! Ah! But Walking Ones of Gridania need not fear Touched Ones or Lord Ramu. Oh, okay, well they're explaining this now. Unlike other primal ones, Lord Ramu is not callous and cruel. So long as Walking Ones do not trespass on these ones' ancestral homeland, where Touched Ones reside, Walking Ones will not suffer thunderous judgment. But this one has spoken enough of Touched Ones. This one would speak instead of these ones. As this one said, these ones desired peace with Walking Ones of Gridania, and so these ones ask for chance to set things right. By way of an addendum, mortals who are tempered come to take on the qualities of embodied by the primals in question. In this case, the Sylphs of Ramu influence have made them fiercely protective of their homeland. That explains why they're so hostile towards trespassers, but what about the abductions? A fine question, Yida. These abductions are, I believe, an expression of the tempered Sylph's desire for reconciliation, another quality traditionally associated with Ramu. In the crudest manner imaginable, they seek to bring their fellows back into the fold. A timely reminder that the changes posed by each primal are unique. Elder Frixio, we thank you for making your well known to us. The people of Gridania will rest easier in the knowledge that they and the Sylphs are united in their desire for peace. Wishing to cooperate, this one has written down the feelings of these ones. Please see that these feelings are conveyed to Honored One Kani Sena. And what with that, I believe we can lay the matter of Ramu to rest. The Sylph's elder very reasonable, I must say. You could learn a lot from him. Was that a jibe? If so, I feel it only fair to observe that one of us wouldn't recognize the reason if it punched her in the nose. Did I say fair? I meant reasonable. Anyway, we're going to head back to the Waking Sands and tell Nymphelia all about it. Fear not, we will be sure to mention the instrumental part you've played in all of this, and what we said to that, we should appreciate it if you would deliver Frixio's missive to the Adder's Nest. Elder Frixio, we humbly thank you for your time. It has been an honor. The honor is this one's. Together, let the walking ones of Gridania and these ones find a way to live in peace. Please wait, Walking One Elio. This one has yet to give Walking One a token of his appreciation. When these ones summoned Lord Ramu, these ones were gifted this crystal. This one would now bestow the crystal upon Walking One as a symbol of these ones' trust. Hey, Nicole, glad to have you. Oh, that was some strong LSD! I think I started drinking the milkweed that we were given to the selves. That or I'm the Warrior of Light. We'll see. 50-50. This one was not mistaken about Walking One. Oh, no, it's just Warrior of Light. Walking One is destined to walk a fate far crueler than this one can imagine. A brilliant light from within, Walking One enveloped the crystal. This one saw. Mark this one well. That crystal will one day be of use to Walking One. Walking One must keep the crystal safe at all times. Before Walking One returns to Gridania, this one would ask Walking One to watch Touch Ones. So long as Touch Ones are not trouble, Touch Ones will not make trouble. If Walking One witnessed Touch Ones, making no trouble, mayhap Walking One can testify to Walking Ones of Gridania that these ones mean no harm. These ones' homeland is fraught with danger. These ones mark down safe places to look out for Touched Ones. Oh my god, okay, you guys definitely want Hildebrand. Got it. Roger that. D, I keep seeing your $50 up at the top, and I'm just, like, still processing that. So yet again, thank you. He's more beard than man. That's true. Removes totally self-interpretation of Ralger. Yeah, based on what we learned in Mists of the Realm, which if you haven't played Mists of the Realm, hold your ears for about a minute. Based on what we learned in Mists of the Realm, the fact that the 12 seem to, whether by intention or not, end up presenting themselves during the time of Umbral Calamities, it's likely that some Sylves saw Ralger at some point during one of the calamities, and that is why he's their interpretation, which we've known for a long time that there's too many direct correlations between Ralger and Ramu, so that's not surprising. Maybe he fears scissors and shears. Why did he need such a big beard and lore reasons? Because he's a judge, and the big beard makes him look very official. That's why I see. Least it's a house, squirrels, birds, and other little critters. Feed them like cotton candy. Stay away from stump water. Brian, this Sylph speech is very Jar Jar Binks. Hey, Misa not talk like this. This one talks like this. It's very different. Almost identical, but very different. You're welcome. People are talking in the crossworld link shell. I can see all you say while I play. Ooh, what am I going to do for, like, the... like, sort of a hiss? They're a tempered sylph in the distance. You do not sense that they pose a danger if left alone. Oh, that's it? Did there used to be a quest there that they just took out? I think that must be what happened. Maybe I'm wrong. I like the Eden Primal theme remix is better than some of the originals. Yeah, I think a lot of them are really good. I think I much prefer the original Garuda. But the thing is I like... Okay, but... the thing is I love... I freaking adore Return to Oblivion, but like Return to Oblivion isn't like even a remix, it's a continuation of Oblivion in some ways, like both directly in its lyrics and in its like musical motifs and themes. So it's like, it's not even really a remix. And the way it ties into Shiva and Reen. Shiva, Reen, Hydaelyn, and Shiva, the historical figure. Or sorry, not Shiva. Well, Ysael, Reen, Shiva, and Hydaelyn in the way it represents all of them in different ways. It's just freaking awesome. Hey, Eden. Good to see you. Glad to have you. I'm still sad that we never got Soken's version of Liberi Fatali. I mean, don't say never. Don't, you know, there's still a chance. Soken did a version of the Four Lords theme early on in A Realm Reborn, I think, and yeah, he's definitely going to do new versions for the trial series. So, you know, anything's possible. Ah, if it isn't Elio, how went the meeting with the Sylphs? A missive from the Sylphs Elder himself, if I may. So the Sylphs have no desire for conflict, nor do they intend to summon Ramuh. And so long as we leave the Tempered Ones be, we need not fear any aggression on their part. The Elder Seatsier will be overjoyed to hear that these Sylphs have welcomed our overtures, and in the knowledge that they bear us no ill will. We may channel our resources towards tackling the more conspicuous threats to our security then. You have done this nation a great service, my friend. On behalf of all Gridanians, I give you my thanks. I see Tataru. The Sylphic folk have long been friends to Gridanians. The mere thought of being at war with them has pained the Elder Seatsier to no end. But owing to your efforts, she will be able to rest easier, being the benevolent soul that she is. My lady will surely try to find a way to reverse the tempering process. Got a while to go there. Once again, I thank you. Had the Scions of the Seventh Dawn not offered to mediate between our peoples, suspicion and doubt may well have led us into needless conflict. Pray, pass my regards on to the Lady Minfilia. Hello? Hello? Elio? Can you hear me? It is I, Minfilia. Yida and Papa Limo returned some little while ago. They wasted no time in regaling me with the tale of your exploits. Thanks in large part to you, the name of one primal may be struck from our list of enemies, and the Gridanians may turn their attention to more pressing matters. Well done! Yet in the end of one tale is but the start of another. Pray, return to the waking sands at your earliest convenience. I would appraise you of the present situation in person. For those of you not aware of the joke behind monotone Minfilia, it began earlier in the earlier streams. And a little bit of dunking on the Minfilia voice actor for A Realm Reborn. And the idea that, also, yes, I know I have the teleportation tickets, but I want to be able to talk to you guys, so sometimes I try to teleport further away from the destination. But, the idea that maybe by doing a monotone performance of her also it'll make the Realm Reborn voice actress sound better. Also, BRB, you need to listen to 14 extreme versions now because reasons. Pray return. Hey, Raiho, welcome. And yes, exactly. Pray return. Most tribes pray to a primal that looks like them. Is there a reason why the Sylphs worship Ramuh and why he doesn't look more like Sylph-like? Well, I mean, like, does the Ramuh any look... Like, Garuda has wings and is, like, somewhat green, but she doesn't really look like an Ixali. Like, a lot of features of her are rather Hurrian. Ifrit, like... broadly has some of affiliate traits to the Amalja, and Titan doesn't really look like a kobold. Like, yes, they have like coloration that kind of connects to their groups, but like tempered sylphs are purple like Ramuh. I'd point to that. I'd also say that the important thing is that like Ralgar, unlike some of the other examples, is probably based off of a specific a historic figure / entity. Ergo, it's not based off of the Sylph's own identity and persona. So that's one other reason why there's further removed. Alfie in the Realm Reborn, oh my god, the voice acting made me not like that kid. You know, I'll say this, I actually kind of enjoy the voice acting for Alfie in the Realm Reborn. I think he's fine. I don't think he's great, but I think he's fine. But I also think that his, like, tone and performance actually works really well for making Alfie a little bit less likable early on, which is kind of important to get you to the point that you get to with the 2.x series, and especially in Heaven's Word, which is kind of, it's not a redemption arc, but it's a growth arc. So I actually think it's a good choice. Not a good choice because it's unintentional, but it isn't abrasive in the way some other ones are. Oh, well, if this isn't my favorite adventure, welcome back, Elio. Lady Minfilia awaits you within the solar. Please enter at your leisure. For some reason, we agreed that Tataru is Minnesotan, so. I played a lot of the game in Japanese, so when I think of Minfilia's voice, I just have pre-anime in my mind. I haven't even done Elfino yet. I am given to understand that the matter of Ramuh has been finally resolved. I fear resolved bespeaks a permanence we can yet not rightly claim, yet I am well satisfied that the Lord of Leven will not trouble us in the foreseeable future. Your satisfaction is assurance enough for me. How fares the investigation? Well enough. Thancred is sparing no effort. There are many in one, just as you suspected. Their purpose, however, eludes us still. I see. I've been meaning to ask, but is Alice quite well? I feel as if I have scarcely seen her in recent days. Oh, you haven't, and nor have I. Alas, Alice has chosen to walk her own path, stubborn girl. But you may be assured that our destination remains the same. And on that note, I take my leave of you. I trust the Baldesion report will serve you well. I take it we cannot proceed as discussed? Why do you ask? You scarce need my permission to act. Little shit. But it's okay, because that's his arc. It is good to see you again, Elio. I have been looking forward to congratulating you on your triumph in the Twelveswood. Owing to your efforts, conflict has been averted. Truly, you have done the Scions proud. With that, we can strike Ramuh from the list. Literally, the opposite of what Minfilia just said. So what's next? The Sahagin and Leviathan? The Lord of the World has not answered his minions' call of late, nor is he expected to do so in the near future. While the Sahagin remain as aggressive as ever, they lack the quantity of crystals required to call forth their god. As with the sylphs, we can leave them to their own devices, for a time at least. For a time, bears repeating, we can ill afford to fall complacent. It is as Y'shtola says, unless we know the minds of the beast tribes, we cannot predict with any certainty what the next primal will return to plague the land. That being the case, we must proceed with as much haste as prudence allows. Any word on Titania? Or Titan. Titania. We got a while to go until Titania. Titan. The Maelstrom keeps the kobolds under constant observation. We shall hear from there ere long. You may depend upon it. Indeed. So then, of all the known primals that have been active in recent times, we are left with... Gridania. Wait, I mean Garuda, who is the primal of the Ixal who live near Gridania. Yes, that's what I meant to say. So many moms to cover. What that there were more efficient ways to conduct our surveys. Were he still with us, we should not long have wanted for more practical solutions. She's not wrong there. Where in the world are you, Chief? But one step at a time. Henceforth, the Order of the Twin Adder will handle all matters pertaining to the Sylphs, under the sage guidance of the Seedseer. I bid you enjoy a moment's respite. You have earned it. Is there something else, Elio? Look, you have no idea what the fuck I just saw. Beg pardon? A man named La Habrea, sporting a red mask and robed in black? 12 preserve. Prior to the calamity, the Ascians took great pains to remain hidden. Why they would choose to cast off their veil of secrecy now? Gods, this bodes ill. We must take advantage of the present lull in primal hostilities and investigate this La Habrea. I wonder where Thancred is. Learn all we can of him and his designs. I dread to Tataru. Laha bread, indeed. Bread. A sylph in Thanalin. At long last, this one finds walking one Elio. This one is most dependable of these ones. Is sent by Elder Frixio to help walking ones. This one is called Noraxia. This one comes as friend. Let these ones be friends. Oh, a pleasure to meet you, Noraxia. Something about being tired? Ah, Elio. Pray do not concern yourself with my welfare. My current investigation has yielded some curious results, and at present, I'm pondering how best to proceed. Ooh, let's see what Arnvald and Co has to say. But let us also catch up on chat. Real quick. Oh god. Liam O'Brien playing around. Yes, hi, so explain. Hi, Brotherhood. Hi, Brotherhood. I already said hi to you. So explain to someone still in the air. What was that about? About what they supposedly discussed? Oh, about with Alfie, their plans to deal with, either to deal with the primal threats via the combination of Circle of the 12 and deal with the primals and also probably Garlemald is probably what they're getting at. I'd have to think on it, but proceed with the plan. It's been so long since I did ARR. I assume it has to do with Garlemald. Brotherhood of Fred. Nicole. Oh, hey, Serene! Undersmell, thanks for that. Cabbage. Also, was that the in-game lore explained the lack of Ascians in 1.0? The lack of Ascians in 1.0, basically. It's also the reason that there's lack of Ascians in 1.0 is one, technically they were present. They were just very behind the scenes in a couple spots. The other thing is that 1.0 didn't get to exist long enough for them to be a thing. So it's not so much that, like... also, historically, the Ascians are very much behind the scenes. The reason that they aren't behind the scenes during 2.0 is because we're forcing their hand at this point. And because there were... La Habrea genuinely thought he was going to be able to approach his endgame for a second time. So, hello, Cal. Good to see you. It's funny that sylphs being green and referred to as cabbages and tempered ones being purple could be called blackruns. I call them beets. Cal, you're the only one who thinks that about cabbages. Unatayun? Sure to wonder if it's happening. No. Ariange. Knowest thou the importance of broken staff within Solar? It fell from the grasp of Archon Louisoix, the man who is an abiding love for all Eorzeans, shielded us against the storm of the calamity. The stars wheel across the heavens, the skies brighten once more, the survivors gather and ignite a fury dawn to burn away the glowing shroud. Ah, but destiny, thou art beautiful. Hey, Arnvald! Oh, I still haven't gotten good at an Alamegan accent. To meet with the antecedents soon to discuss the matters of great import. Abba thinks it is about my first official mission. I suppose it would be good if it was, yes? I'm not sure I'm ready, but still. Masked man, I vaguely recall some Amulja ranting about something like that in the middle of a skirmish. Of course, I wasn't listened to closely on the account of the fact that their friends were trying to kill me. Walking ones from Ul'dah have not seen these ones before. This one knows still. This one knows. Still, must walking ones make such screaming sounds when seeking this one's face? Seeing this one's face? This one cannot get a wink of rest. Ooh! No, that's hard. There are two types of Alamegans, fools who wish to fight back but know not how, and cowards who choose to run from their worries. The young man over there is a striking example of the former. Me, I'm the latter if you couldn't tell. Is he talking about Revolt? I mean, that's the only person he could be talking about. Yeah. I miss it. Yeah, okay. As you have doubtless witnessed in your travel in the lands of Eorzean, are gasping under the pall of the suffocating darkness. I must wonder if it is the darkness that invites disaster, or simply that disaster has left such a gloom in its wake. One thing is for certain. Now is not the time to relax our vigilance. We need the 1.0 scenes in game just for us to watch. Oh, hi, Chronicle of Lore. Glad to have you here. I mean, at least we have copies of them that exist currently. I need to finish my, like, synopsis, like, covering of all of the story of 1.0 at some point. Like, other examples of it exist. This is just, I want to make a version of it for what I have. There's also other projects currently trying to make it so that there are private servers able to run at least parts of 1.0. We may never be able to do quests and a bunch of other stuff, but we at least can have the world set up. But yeah, it would behoove them to at some point release something that articulates the story of 1.0 to the people of who play Final Fantasy 14. Like, make a 1 hour movie. Make like, it doesn't matter what it is, but there needs to be something. It doesn't even have to be in game, frankly. Yes, Tataru is ready to express her fright as she is to express everything else. Not all of us are forged of the same steel as you, I'm afraid. But it takes all kinds to make a family, and it pleases me to no end to see ours continue to grow. One by one, the people of Eorzean are beginning to unite, Elio, drawn to the hope that shines within you. Yet a darkness threatens to engulf this light. Never have I doubted the Ascians' presence, but they have grown so brazen as to carry out their work in plain sight fills me with a sense of deep foreboding. I'm afraid there is no rest for the weary, Elio. We must delve further into the motivations of the masked man, the Ascian, known as La Habrea. This is an ideal moment to do so, while our hands are not bound dealing with another primal. At present, we know little and less about the Ascians, only that destruction follows in their wake. I should not be surprised if these beings are behind the chaos that racks the realm. If my fear proves to be reality, we must do all in our power to stop them. Earlier, I sent word to each Grand Company to solicit cooperation. The Immortal Flames responded to the effect that they have information on potential sightings. This is intelligence that we can ill afford to ignore. Go speak with the Flame Commander Swift at the Hall of Flames in Ul'dah to inquire further. How you go about the investigation thereafter, I leave wholly to your discretion. But whatever you do, never forget that we are dealing with the unknown. You cannot take too many precautions. Be safe, Elio. Arare! Hey! Glad to have you here! Is there anyone else that's joined in that I have missed? Doesn't seem like it. And yet so many of them were cocky enough to think that they had a chance to stop us. Yeah. Well, I mean, from their perspective, they've survived better part of 10,000 years dealing with bullshit, and they've won damn near every time. Or even when they've lost, they've only been subdued. So in their defense, their perspective for the most of history has been, we're gonna win, and even if we lose, we just have to wait a little and we're gonna win again anyways. Oliver Oil is a perfect companion. This might be too much in the future, but what are your plans for coils? We're doing coils. We're going to be doing, for sure, we are going to do every trial series and every raid series. No question. And we're going to do it chronologically in step with when they would have come out. Well, maybe not. Maybe what I'll do is whenever we get to a trial or raid series, whenever the first one would have come out, we'll do the whole thing. That might be what we go with. I'm also debating on how we may be doing some content. So like when we get to the end of 2.0, we may be doing a bunch of class quests and Hildebrand and certain other side quests because I'm gonna walk to Ul'dah so I can catch up on the chat. Because one, I want to buy some time so that I can make sure to do duty support along with patches, and we aren't getting all of Heavensward until 6.2 or 6.3. I think 6.3 is when we finish getting all the Heavensward dungeons for duty support. And 6.2 is not for another couple of weeks. Yeah. 6.2 is not for like a month or more. April. Yeah, it's over a month. Almost 2 months, really. And then that means that there's another 4 months after that till 6.3, which I don't think we're going to be able to slow it down enough that it's going to take us 6 months to get to Heavensward, but I'm going to at least try to see if we can get the pacing on par to at least make it into 6.2. You know, I just really would hate if we get what amounts to, instead of duty support, actual trusts, but maybe it'll just be duty support for Stormblood. And maybe even Heavensward, because imagine doing Heavensward and actually having Horsefant in your party, or doing Stormblood and doing Doma Castle, but you actually have Hien and Yugiri and Gosatsu in your party, or anything like that. And I think that'd be really, really cool. He's gonna get on Blue Mage and we'll do it synced. I mean, that could be a thing. We're definitely gonna do Blue Mage because of lore. Like, we have to do all the jobs for lore. There's no question. Elio, Alamigan accent is Slope. I know, Professor. I'm working in the back. I literally was listening to a bunch of things with Yorkshire accents earlier. Like, I can do Alamigo, but I can't like maintain it right now, and so I'm trying to get good at it. I'm not super worried about it during ARR, but I'm going to keep practicing a Yorkshire accent, and I'll get to the point where I can do it reliably. I go back and watch the earlier AR episodes to see all the scenes, read all the dialogue, helps refresh my memory of the story and lore and gameplay. It's awesome, Catherine. I don't know if you just mean my earlier episodes, in which case, awesome. That's awesome if you do. And if not, I'm glad you do it anyways, because it's very useful. So you already answered the 50-ish times. I'm always glad to answer again. By now, it might have passed in stream. It seems you're going to Hawk Manor, spelling it. Will you at one point do those sequels to Hawk? Yes, we're going to do the hard modes. We're going to do the non-required dungeons as well. When we'll do them is probably going to be what we do between the two. There's going to be a period of time once we finish 2.0 before I go into 2.x proper, where I'll be doing things like that. I think that's where that stuff is going to come in, because some of them, and actually almost all of them, I think, are 50 dungeons anyways. The Masked Man, have you come on behalf of the Scions? Of course. Yes, as we've already relayed to Lady Memphilia, there's been sightings of these rogues near about Eastern Thanolin. A brass blade station at Highbridge described him in detail when he alerted us to suspicious activity. I would point you to the witness, but I'm afraid he died not 2 days ago, slain by marauding hordes of Kakern. Fate can be a cruel mistress. But do not be too quick to despair. Being situated on a trade route, Highbridge seems its fair share of travelers. Folk are always coming and going, and some among them may well have caught a glimpse of your target. You could do worse than to speak with a merchant named Hihibaru. The fellow's always starved for customers, and he's no doubt welcomed your attention, whether or not you have the coin or the mind to spend it. Oh, Sayrene, thank you so much for the 5 euros, I think. Might be pounds. Either way, thank you very much. I also forgot, I mentioned this at the top, and earlier when D was so kind to spend $50, all the money that goes, unless we get maybe too much, but that doesn't, all the money for this stream is going towards buying tea emotes for the community on Discord. We're probably going to do a raffle or do a raffle for some and have like a quiz night for others. We'll see how that goes. But so if you give any money for Super Chat today, that will go towards buying tea emotes for drinking tea for all of our community. Now, that's partly because people love tea, but it's also because the Eorzean archives, TEA. So the joke has become, we're tea drinkers. But the other thing is that we now have an FC as well, which we have a lot of members for. And if you'd like to join, we are on Crystal Curl, if you'd like to be a member. And if you... Oh, hey, there's D right there, doing them's craftings. Let's teleport to... let's teleport to... I don't have Highbridge, but I do have Drybone. Although there isn't Highbridge at the teleportation point. But we have an FC if you'd like to join our free company. It's already, already starting to blow up. We already have 100 million gil for getting a house once 30 days are up, because we have to wait 30 days before our free company can buy one. But it's very exciting, and it's people are already like doing content together, and I think it's a really fun time. If you'd like to have a place where you can just have people to come do stuff with you, it will be great for that. The other thing is we have a cross-world link chat. So even if you aren't on Crystal Curl and you'd like to use conversate with people in the community, absolutely feel free to send either Ray or Isidoro, both in the chat, a message, or you can also at me once I'm off stream, and we can get you an invite. Kiss Xenos, marry Xenos, kill Xenos. I think then kiss, marry, kill Xenos. I personally prefer the fuck, marry, kill version, but I'll take it. So coils before Crystal Tower, right? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I think that will probably be how we do it. Let me think. Let me just think about chronology. What, like, literally in the order they come out, that is the case. I'm just thinking about any other place where that might not be the optimal choice. No, we're into it. Yeah, we're gonna do it. We'll do it that way. That's a good. Kiss, marry, kiss, Ali, say, marry, Stola, kill. Who? Oh, Serene did it. Let's play Kiss, Marry, Kill. That's why, with the Scions. Chat, choose wisely. Oh, okay, I need to take a second to do that. Also, Serene, thanks for the milkshake money. Too bad it's not being spent on milkshake. It is being spent on tea, though. Kiss, Marry, Kill. I have to stop. She spent the money. Also we got $20 from, Ozzy Boy. Hey there, it's me, Gleaner, Isa from the server. I just wanted to thank you for all the cool lore videos inspiring me and my wife to do our AR replays, just being a cool peep in general. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it, Gleaner. And, thanks so much for joining, and thanks so much for this money. It's going to go back towards the community, and I'm glad that they've provided any form of service to you and been helpful. I hope they continue to be, and that you enjoy them. For Scions. Okay, sadly, I'm way too straight, which is boring, and I wish it wasn't the case, but I am. She technically might not be considered Scion, but I'm definitely going Kiss for Moonbrita. Kill. Oh no, I'm gonna kill Papalimo because he's already gonna die anyways. And then I'm going to marry either Graha or Eorzean. I'm not sure which. Probably Graha. Marry Graha, kill Tataru. I'm sorry. Serene, have your opinions as they were. Thank you, Ray, for the moderation. I might have missed K, brother. That sounds painfully tedious, Professor. I don't know which thing you're referring to, Eden, but probably is. I would love to hear what thing you think is painfully tedious. Serene, also Serene, thank you. Ozboy, thank you. Yes, also make sure to thank people for that, because that money is potentially going to buy you a free emote. So, oof, poor potate. Good answers. It's nice to see people who love and who they could do without. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I super don't have a thing for Dami mommies, so like Y'shtola on the like attraction thing is not it. And then like as much as like I feel like I would enjoy being friends with Y'shtola, I don't have like a super strong attachment to her to compare to a lot of others. But yeah. Eureka is painfully tedious. I did all of Eureka in a week. I got max level and elemental armor and completed all of Eureka in 1 week. It was worth it. And I actually don't mind Eureka, so that's actually not going to be too bad. And also thanks, Nick, for helping him out. I'm surprised Issa didn't find a way to just say kiss Hilda, marry Hilda, kill everyone who tries to get with Hilda. She may not be a Scion, but still. Nicole, I don't have a thing for Tommy Mom. It's true, like I don't. And that's like, why not all, but a lot of people have a thing for Y'shtola. Hilda's, for once, Issa played by the rules. Nick, are you saying how did I finish Eureka in a week? By no-lifing nothing but Eureka for a week. I also want to point out, I did it solo. I did it solo during Shadowbringers when everyone was in Baja. Welcome to Hybrid Adventure. Whatever you seek, I, Hihibaru, can provide it. Probably. You're after a masked man. I'm not sure I have one of those in stock. Oh, you're after a masked man. Why didn't you say so sooner? Such an individual might have featured in one of those many rumors I've heard. If you linger a while, maybe you'll learn a thing or two, eh? Hihibaru wants you to help find La Habrea. Maybe. When the Order of Naldal began excavating the ruins below, I had hoped that Highbridge would turn into a bustling hub for pilgrims, but thanks to the nigh endless beastmen raids, folk are too afraid to come within a mall of here. I sold everything I owned to get my adventure started. I am loath to give up without making an earnest effort to stick it out, but if things keep going as they are, I'll be bankrupt before the moon is through. Whining won't do me any good, though. No, for my business to survive, I need business. Speaking of which, perhaps you'd like to browse my wares, spend a bit of coin to help a struggling merchant? What are you buying? The Masked Man? Bah! I'll take you, bloody Masked Man. I know what I said before, but vague rumors are all I've got. If you want to know about him, go ask some of the other merchants. Yishal's best girl after all. Hilda is fine. Oh, okay, good. I thought you were gonna say like fine. Hilda is fine. Hilda's got personality, is super playful, is a rose, so is attractive. I also don't super have a thing for cat girls. Like, I don't have a thing against cat girls, and I'm not even saying I don't like have. I'm not like I don't understand the thing for cat girls, but like that's not a huge plus for me. And I find row women more attractive in general. But I'm ready to hear from many of you how crazy I am for saying that. Or for me, strangely, to get a lot of agreement. It's only one way or the other. Hi, I've heard tell of the Masked Man. Seems he's been appearing not only around Highbridge, but elsewhere about Thanolin too. Enough folk have been reported seeing him to convince me he's more than a figment of my imagination, but little is known about him otherwise. Oh, Hilda. Sorry, I thought you meant, my brain broke. I was still on Moonbrita. I'm trying to play a game and read all your things. Y'all talking fast, okay? I'm allowed mistakes. Though I'm sure Issa won't let me live it down somehow. One of the trail of a masked man? I have heard enough of him, but only in hushed tones and faint whispers. It's said he wears black hooded robes and looks suspicious. And that's about all I can say, little though it is. Eden's with me. I want to enjoy it, but I've yet to find a guide for your weekend that's decent enough to help me along. Well, Nick, when I do it, we can do it together. We'll do it as a group if you want. And on top of that, even if not, we can talk in Discord later about it. Or hell, if you want, what we can do is do it for one of the community nights. Again, please, people, if there's a thing you want to get done, and you don't have to do it on Saturday during community night, you can do it in advance. Just message me anytime during the week on Discord, or just at me on Discord, and I'll add it to the list and make sure like it's saved. If there's anything you want to get done where you've been like, oh, I want to do this, but but it's always been kind of shit to do, be it Baja, Eureka, or anything like that, that's what community nights are for. So please do not be afraid to say it there or here. I just can't promise that it will be recorded if it's here because I'm midstream. That said, Ray will probably see it, and Ray is likely to remember it. Shoal is only who would eat goose liver. I'm curious how the various school jobs work in Charlian, Archons, Gleaners, and all that. I want my character to be canonically an Archon Gleaner, but she's a minor above all. So, Gleaners, we know, as much as they fulfill a specific occupation, they are scholars and students in their own right. Can Gleaners be Archons and go to the studium? As far as we know, that should be possible. The problem would be that you couldn't... It'd be very hard to be a Gleaner and Archon at the same time, because the amount of time it takes to become an Archon is extreme, and the amount of time you're spending away from Charlian is extreme as Gleaner. However, you could justify that you were a Gleaner first and then took a break away from it to go be a student and graduate from the university, or you could justify that after becoming an Archon, you decided, I want to go travel the world and be a Gleaner. Those are both, you could justify that, absolutely. I would personally say the best rationalization would be to say, you went to you were as like a teen or child or teen, you went through the university. As you became an adult, you graduated, became an Archon, and got your mark. And then whatever you were studying, rationalize whatever your topic of study was for your Archon thesis has to do with what inspired you to be a Gleaner. But there are specific lines from characters like Arnvald about how Gleaners are just as vital and important and just as part of the scholarly research and students of knowledge as actual Archons and forum members are. No mistakes. I'd marry Lord Fortholm. Fair. Seems like good. Elio today. I don't have a thing for cat girls. Elio tomorrow. We lost 50% of our subscribers. I love cat girls. Come back. Yeah. Okay, but also some people stay around to hate watch, so there's a good chance that by saying I don't like cat girls, we may get more subscribers, and we get the row people, and the conflict therein breeds interaction. So, say ringing. I mean, you got it. YouTube's a weird place. Also, possibly. Wolf ears are a thing. I prefer dog people or wolf people, to be honest. I'm a dog person. Dogs are great. Dogs are great, AC. And we have the Lupin race, and we also kind of have Hrothgar, who are tigers and lions, which are still cats, so it's not really... We don't really have a doggo people. Wolf ears are a thing. I was thinking Issa studied mineralogy and geology as a student that became a cleaner from there. Yeah, that works totally. That totally works. Sad, I'm allergic to cats in real life. Aw. Actually, Cal, are you in chat? If you are, could you bring the good boy down? Because I think if we've got AC likes doggos, we should get the good boy on chat on stream. Have I seen a masked man wearing a dark robe? No, I haven't. Nor do I wish to. Business is bad enough without shady characters lurking about. Folk have been giving hybrid to white birth because of all the Cockern raids. None but the most devout pilgrims are willing to come here anymore. Fun fact, if you're wondering why I say Cockern as the name, it's because Lys says their name in Stormblood, and we know for sure that it is Cockern. How do people like Thancred and Minfilia become archons at such a young age? I mean, Thancred's not young. Thancred's like in his mid to late 20s. And Minfilia... does Minfilia have an archon mark? I don't know that Minfilia is. I don't think she ever went to Sharlayan. Like, Minfilia is... she was the leader of the path of... oh my god, I'm gonna get it wrong. The Way of Knowing? No, the Path of the 12. And that fused with the Way of Knowing to make the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. She wasn't Sharlayan like the others are. Hrothgars just need about 1 kilogram more. Oh, catnip. Okay. Isn't that a secret hidden? Isn't that a secret hidden? What is? About Minfilia? No, it's 1.0 info. And short story info. They may explain it here as if you don't know it, but it is... If you had played 1.0 or you had read any short stories or the short stories that came out in co-tandem with the 2.0, it's not secret knowledge. In universe, your character technically might not know it yet, but it's not like a deeply held secret. Judging by your expression, I take it you didn't learn much of use. Look, I'm sorry for my rudeness earlier. It's just that things are tough for us, merchants at the moment. The Cockern raids are so constant, so organized. We're beginning to suspect that someone is orchestrating it all. I tend to put my own welfare first, like most of us do. But that doesn't mean I'm a bad person. I promise to keep an eye out for your masked man. If I see or hear anything, you'll be the first to know. Catnip, secret info about Mikote and Hrothgar. Sorry for the misunderstanding, Catherine. Wait, a wolf race does exist in Yangshan. Yeah, the Lupin race. Bearded. Also, hey, Bearded. But they're not a playable race, and they're technically more wolves than dogs, but still holds. I finally got some honest-to-God's information on your masked man. That was quick. Why so confident? Because I saw him with my own 2 eyes. I was out for an evening stroll, minding my own business, when I noticed a column of smoke rising from a cliff over at Thal's Respite. Curious, I took myself there to find a masked man. Your masked man. I'm sure of it, standing by a fire. As if in answer, some Cockern appeared soon after, and the group began talking at length. I'm afraid I was too far out of earshot to hear much of anything. After the group had disappeared, an idea came to me. If you were to use this smoldering coal to start a fire, you might be able to arrange a similar meeting. It will be dangerous. I shouldn't doubt, but you've proven yourself more than a match for a pack of rats. So what do you think? That's some sound, reliable information, if I do say so myself. Well worth all the lingering about that you've been doing, wouldn't you say? Thancred was 19 at 1.0 and already an Archon, wasn't he? Okay, let's double check EE1. And the thing is yeah, but adulthood is 18. It's only, while the youngest people to graduate were Alfino and Alice at, I don't know if it was 16. I think it was a little younger than that. But I mean, Alice actually graduated after Alfino. But the thing, I think he graduated earlier than that. I think it's a couple years earlier than that. But 19 is not, or 18 is not hugely, not crazy. Let's pull up. You spent time in Sharlayan to become an Archon. At least did. Yes. Good explanation. That is part of why. And remember, we're pretty okay talking about things during our Heaven's Word and Stormblood are not huge spoilers. So those are pretty fair game for this stream, just so you're aware. But that is why Lys's Archon mark fades. It was a glamour cast upon her by Papalymo. think... Oh, here, why don't I travel over there while I wait? Thancred is over in this section. He is, at the time of A Realm Reborn, that's weird. Usually we get their ages. Why is... Man of the goblins was certain to be tossed from the city stage prison to offer them an alternative godly aid for the old man. Thus the Midlander boy returned to the archons. Here, well, let's read his thing. A member of the Scions, Thancred grew up in the backstreets of Limsa and spent his adolescence snatching purses with a band of petty thieves. One day, he targeted an Eorzean man who had come to the maritime city-state to study Aether. Unbeknownst to Thancred, that man was Louisoix Levieur. And just as the boy drew near... Also, if you've played Endwalker, this is what he's referencing at the very beginning when they're at the boat. Thancred was certain he would be tossed onto one of the city-state's prison holds. Instead, Louisoix offered him an alternative. Use his gods-given agility to aid his fellow man. Thus, the Midlander boy returned with the Archon to Sharlayan, and there began to study survival and intelligence gathering techniques. He became an expert in both, and then an Archon, and then a member of the Circle of Knowing. At 32 years of age, Thancred fancies... So he's 32... So he's 32 during 2.0, which means he would have been 27 at the time of 1.0, not 19. Thancred fancies himself silver-tongued when it comes to the fairer sex. Many women, however, would beg to differ. His boon companion is a nutkin who has saved the Archons from several rather embarrassing situations. But yeah, he would have been 27 during 1.0. He would have been 32 during... He's 32 now, and he's probably somewhere around 34 physically. 33, 34 during as of Endwalker. That's conjecture, but presumably so. And then, though spiritually, he is probably around 38. Thanks to the events of Shadowbringers. Meguts literally have harem, Seekers of Sun specifically, share catnip, overconsumption, thing of parts. Yeah, we were talking about that before you hopped on. Mentioned the raid party. So Thancred is very smart for his age. I mean, he knew he was smart, but an Archon smart, I always felt a little much, honestly. But here's the thing. Thancred is an incredibly, relatively intelligent person compared to the vast majority of people on Atheris. And on top of that, he is incredibly gifted and smart when it comes to espionage and intelligence gathering and politics. So the thing is that he's not a scholar in terms of being like studying aetherology, but he has an incredibly specific set of skills that are incredibly useful and powerful that he studied in and focused in, especially during his time in Sharlayan, where he was under the Sharlayan's spy master person, who we don't know much about yet. So no, I think thinking that Thancred is not very smart is a gross misunderstanding of what his capabilities and strengths are. Yeah, trained as an Archon in espionage. Suddenly I want to be Amigo again. Oh, Sarian. Quite an interesting field of study, practical stuff. You never studied the studium. How the Nutkin is canon. Yes. Yeah, I didn't find him hot until I realized he's a daddy type. Oh, I'm gonna go complain at the wiki. Never trust the wiki. Never trust wikis. Wikis are always secondary sources, especially Final Fantasy XIV wikis. I'm sorry, I shout about this all the time on the Discord, but I need to get on my soapbox for a second. Never, ever use the wikis as a primary source, unless they are literally citing something that you can check. Still check. Do not use the wikis. A lot of times the wikis are used from unsourced things from RP forums, or theories that are not founded in reality, or on top of that, information that is out of date and has been recontextualized differently, and people have made mistakes and assumptions. So, never use the wikis as a primary source for any piece of information. Use it as a secondary one. Check in. Use it as a conjunction thing. If you know Nalmask exists and you want to double check, okay, I think it says Nalmask is here based on this, and the wiki says, okay, the wiki agrees. Okay, there's multiple sources. Cool. Oh, what's that other? I know that country that exists. That's Gabranth's birth country, and I know it starts with an L and it exists in Ilsabard. I'm gonna go try looking it up on the wiki. Oh, Landis, that's what it is. Cool, that's fine, but don't use the wikis as a primary source. I beg of you. Cool. With that out of the way. He's very street smart. Definitely not a guy with a brain who should want to mess with. I mean, he's very street smart. He is also classically trained. It's just in espionage, counterintelligence, certain aspects of politicking, geopolitics as on a whole. Like, that's the thing is do not underestimate Thancred. Just because if you're going, it's that whole idea of if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, you will think forever. It will think forever that it's incapable, right? Don't judge Thancred on aetherology principles. That's not his field. Don't judge Eorzean on his ability to swim because he's bad at it, right? Like he's different strengths. There's a reason that in Dadcrid we trust. Wikis make moose sad. Yeah, wikis make pretty much any lore person you're going to find in the 14 community. The one universal thing you will all find they agree on is the wikis make them sad. Don't use the Final Fantasy 14 wikis. I mean, broadly, don't use wikis as a primary source anyways. Don't use the Final Fantasy... don't use the Final Fantasy source. Especially don't use it for any minutia. Super don't. It's very common for them to still say Mikote or from Erisipia, which has just been completely debunked. Never look at the... It's not a bad source for using it for like small things to like reference to like recall something or needing to quick search something that you're sure is true but you don't know where to go find a primary source for it. They're not useless and they're not garbage, but don't use them especially if you're ever going to use any information from them to and this is not calling out anyone who said this clearly, but just to correct someone or to like use as a point of information in a conversation, because trust me. Hey, even Eodia was an archon. 3 guesses as to what her field of study was. Punching. And how best to punch. How common are villages and cities in the Eorzean? I know the main 3 import the 3 main port. The refugees want a lot of outposts, but that's it. Feels empty, or am I too much looking into modern view? So Brotherhood, one thing that is really important to know, and this has been stated by Koji and Yoshi and other people, is the representation of the cities and like Limsa, for instance. Limsa is home to hundreds of thousands of people. It's not represented as it is in game because of limitations of what they have to do for the engine. But if you look at Limsa as it is, you're like, okay, so like 500 people live here, maybe, at most. But every city, imagine, is in reality larger than what it is and houses more than the bounds, especially for what you see in A Realm Reborn. They get better at like trying to convey that idea with places like Sharlayan, where you can see a bunch more housing and stuff out in the distance. But with that said, broadly, there are a lot of outposts. The other thing is, with Hydaelyn, for instance, excuse me, you have places like Silver Bazaar is a township. You have Crescent Cove is a township. Vesper Bay is a township. And that's just in Western Hydaelyn, you know? In Sigoli Desert, you have the U-Tribes place, the Forgotten Springs. You have a little Alamigo. Those are all towns, effectively. Eastern Hydaelyn, you have Dry Bones. You also have the Golden Bazaar, which is a town as well. In Northern Hydaelyn, you have, you basically really have just Camp Lufog and the Cerulean processing plant. But the thing is, this is like a major industrial point. This is like one of the most important industrial points in all of Eorzea. And then not to speak nothing of Rabon's push with Castrum Meridianum and the Praetorian and stuff. Central Hydaelyn, you really only have Black Registration, but you also have outposts like, the Bonfire. You have Lost Hope, which is, I've got the Nanawa Mines, and they're like outposts right over here. So there are tons, and they are bigger than they seem. There were a lot of limitations. I mean, remember, A Realm Reborn comes out during the PlayStation 3 era, and the entire game was made in like 2 years. An MMO being made in 2 years is just insane. If you've never watched the no-clip documentary on Final Fantasy 14, I cannot recommend that enough. Back to the story. Back so soon. Were you able to find any clues leading to your masked man? Maybe you need to start putting time clips in the bottom for people who want to skip me talking about other shit and go straight to the story. This scroll! It bears a prayer to Ralgur, the Destroyer. In case you're unfamiliar, Ralgur is the garden deity of Alamigo, which currently is under gardening rule. It is highly uncommon for folk of other nations to revere him. I'd wager my last guild that your assailant was Alamigan. It seems this masked man of yours is very well connected. I must confess, the merchant in me envies a diverse network of contacts. That selfsame merchant also senses danger ahead, and darkness besides. Are you certain you'd rather not take things nice and slow here at Highbridge? Also, this is great discussion in the chat. Thank you all so much. For those people who regularly conversate, thank you very much. And for those people who are less prone to, I appreciate you trying to pop in. I really do. The Alamigan bandits you had run-ins with is somehow connected to your masked man of mystery. So it stands to reason that if you want to pick up the trail again, you should head towards Little Alamigo over in southern Hydaelyn. Just so you know what to expect, the settlement is the favorite destination for those refugees who couldn't, well, adapt to life in Ul'dah. The hearts of the denizens are said to be barren as the wasteland they live in, and for what all intents and purposes, it's a lawless place. Be prepared for a not so warm welcome. Now, I'm not concerned how much help she will be, but it just so happens I have a daughter who has relocated to Little Alamigo. Her name is Hihira, and it shouldn't hurt to seek her out first. And while you have her attention, I'd be obliged if you could send my love. Not a day goes by that I don't think of her. I suppose this is it then. I had hoped that you would linger here a while, cull some fiends, spend some coin, and what have you. But something tells me you're destined for greater things. Wherever it is you end up, I wish you the best. 6 seasons in a movie! I love Community so much. I have no idea why Serene is saying 6 seasons movie, but 6 seasons in a movie! Cool. Community is me and my best friend's most common go-to and deepest love. We were just playing, what is it even called? There is a fan community game that someone made that is basically a paintball simulator. And no one plays it anymore, so whenever we play, it's just me and him playing paintball against each other. But it is a lovely, lovely thing. Okay, let's catch up on chat. Spoken. Thank you for his dad strength. How common is villain? Cover that. What's that about Mikote? I don't know. What about Mikote? Don't judge Eorzean's ability to communicate with laymen. Would you use a wiki when writing a medical dissertation for HD level university class? Yeah, exactly, Ariel. Great point. Also, hi, Ariel. I don't know if I said hi earlier if you were talking. Professor, is that why you upload lore videos so that you have your own wiki to upload to? Honestly, when I first created the Eorzean Archive YouTube, the idea was to create a video wiki. The reason that became a little less true is because super passionate people want that. If you want to get any views, you can't just make a wiki. That's why I've done less taxonomy and stuff like that lately. And I want to grow the channel at least to a certain amount, so that I can get stuff like this, so I can do stuff like this and have you guys to talk to, and for it to be honest, more financially viable. So I'd like to get to a point where I can do this full time. But yeah, that is a big part of why I made the videos in the first place. Well, a big part of why I made the videos in the first place is that Ethis had stopped making videos at the time, and there weren't anyone really making Final Fantasy 14 lore videos when I first started. And I wanted that content, and I wanted stuff like that to be made. So it was important to me. We only ever see a fraction of most cities we visit, unfortunately. Yeah, which is why the city-states really are misnamed and are more like small countries. Yep. The no-clip doc on X4 is absolutely... I've watched that no-clip documentary multiple... I've watched that no-clip documentary maybe before I played 14. I don't know if that's true. I think it actually came out after. But even if you don't play 14, I cannot recommend that no-clip documentary on YouTube. It's free. Check it out. It's amazing. It's just phenomenal. Did I attune to this? Yeah. Wiki lead Elio down a dark road. He once searched him for information and believed it. He lived with this information. It was in... Let me check. Wikis led Elio down a dark road. He once searched for information and believed it. He lived with this information. It was in his head, in his blood, till he found out it was wrong. He swore an oath to fix this wrongdoing and spend the rest of his life uploading lore videos. The end. Well, okay, and uploading lore videos, and drinking milkshakes thanks to his patrons and viewers. The end. If you enjoyed this stream and you aren't already a member of our Discord, why not come and join us? Thank you, Ray Ray. I keep going way too far on it. 6 season movie, you mentioned them when talking about how bad wrong info is with Wiki, yeah. Daddy's coming back, he just left to get cigarettes. That's a sweet backstory for Elio. Actually, the backstory for Elio is he was an archon who studied the effect of aetherology on physical materials, and ended up in Eorzea for whatever reason. I mean, like, I'm not super into, like, I don't have a huge bunch of it made. Mostly because it didn't matter too much to me. People have only started caring about Elio as a character as as the channel's grown, so I actually care to do it more now. But yeah. I watched the doc before I played the game. It really piqued my interest to see Yoshi P and his crew so into redeeming 14, and the community's love for the game just won me over. Yep. I mean, that's the thing is, like, I'll say this, and I've said this elsewhere, and I'll say it again. The reason I love 14 is not because 14 always gets it right. The 14 development team is not that they always get it right. It's that I always trust them to keep trying to get it right and to try and fix their mistakes. And they care. And they deeply, deeply care. They care as much as us or more. And they don't just want to get it right for them. They want to get it right for them and us. So. Why, yes, Hibaru is my father. He said, what? I wish I could be a better daughter to him. It's just that... Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't bother you with my family matters. But I'm grateful to you for delivering the message. Now then, what brings you here? A masked man. I'm afraid that description doesn't ring any bells. But one of the others here may have seen something. I would recommend you first speak with Gundobald, the leader of the settlement. I must warn you, though, he isn't exactly accommodating to outsiders. I'm gonna keep trying to do the Yorkshire, but I don't. Oh. Who are you? State your business and be quick about it. Nope, still going like Minnesotan or something like. Looking for I keep going Scottish too. Looking for masked villains, you say? Why, you shouldn't be helped. We struggled enough without having to answer the whim of every outsider. You're not welcome here. Be gone. So why does Elio swing an axe? He feels a bit more like a caster to me, like an arcanist. Yeah. He swings an axe currently. So the reason justification in game is because we're doing out of game is we're doing the class jobs that match the Realm Reborn thing. As for why he's wielding an axe, well, he's traditionally a smith and works in blacksmithing, so wielding a hammer is the most normal to him. And the only job that wields hammers or axes is warrior, so it makes sense for him to pick it up. The other thing is so before he came to Eorzea, he didn't have any job. So he only picked up the axe for Eorzea because he was like, I guess I'm going to use this. He started out as a marauder. He started out in Limsa. It made sense to start with an axe. He wasn't a combatant. He was an archon who studied crafting and aetherology and mineralogy and stuff like that. So the axe makes the most sense as an adoption of that. And while he understands aetherology, that doesn't necessarily mean he is a caster or practicing spell casting. I mean, blue mages are barely even casters. You're basically just, like, you are a caster, but it's not like the same as the aetherology practice. You're basically just mimicking the aetherology of creatures more than you're, like, which is just ethereal manipulation, which is just spell casting, but, yeah. Slope. Professor, are you going to make fun of me every time? I acknowledge I don't know how to do a Yorkshire accent, and I am practicing. What do you want from me? Just say slope over and over again for every Alamegan character. Just be like, Alamigo, slope. Alamigo, Alamigo. Slope, slope. Alamigo. Alamigo. Well met, adventure. Now I'm self-conscious. I'm literally, after this stream, I'm going to sit down and keep practicing. Like, I don't know why I can't get it. He wasn't a star. Well met, adventure. I'm Gilsbound, head of security out here around Little Alamigo. Heard tell that you had a business with Gundobald. Knowing that bristly old bear, I doubt he told you to bugger off. Owing to their hardship, the refugees don't trust anyone but themselves. Not even my men and I can get so much as a word of thanks out of them, despite watching the place day and night. But thanks or no, I try to help my fellow man when I can, and you seem a decent sort, so if you tell me what you brought here, you might be as I can lend a hand. On the trail of a masked villain, you say? Can't say the sounds are familiar, but to have men on lookout for Amalja to the south of here. It's been suspicious activity, and they're like to have seen it. I had mind to take of them each a cup of sweet thanalan tea. So as to lift their spirits. If you were to run this little errand in my stead, they'd all be the more willing to tell you what they know. Yes, because it's funny, I'm gonna turn into a meme like bread. My friend can do an uncanny slope. Here's the thing. Here's the reality about me. I'm just gonna acknowledge it now. If you make fun of me, I won't necessarily react. But if you like, I am a reactional. I will react to things quite often and quite frequently. So if you are bringing up stuff or commenting stuff, or in the case of Serene, making fun of me to do with Mikote, loving row women, or just giving me money, which is all three very common things that Serene do, I'm likely to react. And to be frank, yes, not to any and every time I receive any super chats from y'all, I will be shocked and surprised, as it were. But yes, as a reminder, all money from this stream will be going towards tea emotes for anyone who is in the Discord. We will be doing a raffle and or a quiz night. We'll find ways to give them away. But so far we've already raised $75, I guess, which is shocking. Thank you, D. Thank you, Serene, and thank you, ISO? I'm sorry, I'm really bad with remembering names, and I'm trying to get better at it, and those names of people who are around very frequently becomes easier and easier. But for new people, if I do so, it is not a lack of caring, just a lack of brain space. My work here is to cause chaos to the chat is done. A true Asian pride I am. I may now go to my Fantasia sleep. Also, I feel cold out. Yorkshire is within the nebulous realm of northern accents. As a southerner, it is a baffling. Like, the thing is that it's also just hard to switch into it. For me. The other thing is that, like, also, like, Lancaster is, like, just sounds really American 80% of the time to me. It just sounds like an American accent. Shoo, don't bother me. If the Amalja overrun us, I blame you. Here's your fucking tea, asshole. For me? You shouldn't have. Sorry? A suspicious masked man. As a matter of fact, I caught a glimpse of someone fitting that description during the patrol. Well, I couldn't quite make out whether it was a man or not, what with the mask and robe. But assuming he was a he was talking with some Alamegans. I assumed he was one of them. The amount of masked men that are around in Eorzea is worrying. Finally, somebody who sees Rogan as the best waifus and husbandos. Definitely the best waifus. Husbandos, I can take or leave. But I am also, sadly, aggressively straight, so it's hard for me to appreciate full husbandoness. You there, are you a Mulja? No? Then carry on. A piping hot infusion of freshly picked young Thanalin tea leaves, mixed with rich aldegoat cream and a generous spoonful of golden cactar flower honey. Ooh, I wonder what cactar flower honey tastes like. Ah, the sophisticated aroma. It has been forever since I have had a drop of sweet Thanalin. I'm going to enjoy this. What? A masked man? Don't know, don't care. Unless he's got a dark, scaly skin, stands 10 foams tall, and has the face of a lizard, then I don't give a mummer's fart. But yeah, Atelier, of the ladies, let's just say as an individual, I am chest focused and, well, actually, both back and front focused. And of those, the ladies with the most, buxom appearances. I'm not being PG-13 because I'm a prude. I'm mostly just worried about YouTube censoring. Like, YouTube's like actively doing censorship if you say certain words, and you don't have to put them in the title or anything if you just say them. Because of that, they are my preferred waifus. Who's the hell's you? I'm trying to conserve energy here, so leave me alone. Well, ain't ye considerate? My thanks, friend. What's that? A masked man hiding amongst the refugees like as not. Me compatriots live here go about as though they're dead on their feet. 'Tis impossible to tell what's on their minds. For all I know, they're all up to no good. Okay, I will say in terms of like what male race I'm most attracted to, male bunny boys. Real good. Like, as far as I am attracted to males, okay, male Vieira, let's just say I am chest focused. Well, back and front focused. I mean, like, I don't know how else you want me to put it. Like, it's true. Like, I can pretend like I don't have my own carnal desires, or I can just be like, yeah, that's what I like. That said, There's going to be a lot of fun side comments and statements in the interbreeding video that is coming up soon. Also, speaking of, if you haven't watched it yet, I just put out a video on, and Ray, if you potentially link in chat, I just put out a video on the meaning of flow, which is one of the songs from Endwalker, and I highly recommend that you watch it. I am really proud of it, and for fair warning, if you are at all emotional, at all, you may likely cry because it's a very emotional video and song. But, that said, I would not be doing my due diligence if I didn't mention it. Oh, you're back. So did my lookouts have aught to share with you? That doesn't sound like my boys. If you go any further in your investigation, it seems to me you'll need the cooperation of Alamegans. For this, you'll need to win their trust, and that won't be an easy task. I don't think they do kind of look a little like Shrek, but I think they look more like sharks. They look like if you combine sharks with humans. So you've determined to press on with your investigation, then I have some advice to offer you. As I've said before, you won't go far without the Alamegans' trust, and the best way to win that trust is to get compatriots of theirs, someone that will respect to vouch for you. Coin does the talking in Ul'dah, but the Alamegans are bound by something far stronger, if not as tangible, a common purpose. That purpose is, of course, the liberation of their home from the Garleans. Gundabald belongs to the Alamegan resistance, so your best bet would be to someone who's part of that same crew. If you know any well-connected people, you might well to start by asking them. I'll prepare for the fields, yeah. As a female who has coped with big boobas, I imagine it is tough to swing an axe weapon with boobas in the way, especially if you have any kind of plate that is restrictive. Luckily, the plate for most female characters in this game is actually... It's pretty much just, most of the stuff is relatively treated as unisex, in a decent way. Not all the time, but in general. Thank you, Ray. I love male Ora because they're long dragon boys and female Ro are super hot. I mean, okay, well, they're not dragon boys, but I will point out that the like, if you like lanky, you should check out male Ora. Did I say male Ora? Male Vieira. You may find there's a lot of dust in the air while watching it, yes. I meant Vieira, male Vieira, Cal. That said, yeah, I would still totally call out male Ora lanky. Yeah. Not, like, quite as much as male Vieira, but yeah, I mean, they're still, like, very tall and skinny. Yeah. He might be muscular, but he's still, like, tall and skinny. Like, when I think lanky, like, lanky to me means tall and skinny. That's how I define it. Also, I really love watching y'all in the Crossworld Link Shell talking while doing this. It's nice to just see y'all having fun and engaging with each other. And again, reminder, if you'd like to join our Crossworld Link Shell, if you'd like to join our FC that exists, the Eorzean Archive FC, which is a ton of fun, you can join it on Crystal Curl. If you're unable to, you can also feel free to join our Crossworld Link Shell. If you'd like to join it, you can also just talk to Ray in the chat here, message Ray on the Discord, or message me or anyone else on the Discord as well. So. One second, I just want to check something on the MSQ. Because I knew I was a bit away from Hawk Manor. I didn't think I didn't think it was going to take quite this long. I just wanted to make sure that we're making good time. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, I may have to focus on the story a bit. Welcome back, Alio. How fares the investigation? I see. Given all they have suffered, it is of little wonder the Alamegan refugees have lost faith in their fellow man. I blame you guys for distracting me. Thank you. Curse you. Thank you, Curse you. They have had their homelands taken from them, and for the past 2 decades they have seen it remain in the enemy's clutches. To compound matters, none of the 3 city-states have the means to take in all those who were displaced. As a result, a great many Alamegans now live on the margins of society, suffering poverty and discrimination. Would that more could be done to ease their hardships. I fear that nothing short of reclaiming their homeland would be a lasting solution. Cal, if you're still in chat, bring down the boy. But let us deal with one problem at a time. Returning to the matter of your investigation, it just so happens there is an Alamegan native among the Scions. I should be pleased to introduce you to him. We're meeting our boy! Oh god, that looks like Garbo. Your Alamegan comrade is named Haribert. We're not going to talk to our boy? He joined our cause in the hopes that he might find a way to liberate his homeland. While he spares no effort towards that endeavor, I have no doubt that he would be glad to assist you. If I recall correctly... Hey, buddy! Haribert is currently between missions. Try looking for him in the storage area. Deadpool, come here. Come here. Oh. Hey, it's the boy! Hi, say hi to the stream, buddy. Oh, you want to go upstairs? Okay. I went to unlock the MGP dance, but they don't really fit the idea of my Highlander role. The most he emotes is step dancing and nodding. Aw, everybody loves Deadpool. He's a very, very good boy. He does all sorts of tricks, and he's very, very well behaved. He's like one of the best dogs I've ever, not just like had, but dealt with. This is a case of the story and gameplay not matching for me. The dungeons that I've cleared, like Amdapor Keep and City, would be perfect for housing refugees. No, they wouldn't. For one, Amdapor City is literally plagued with mind-rotting parasitic plants, and its aether is so messed up that life has a hard time being sustained there, and is plagued by like not only light magic traps, but like dark magic entities that are stuck there, both like literally trapped there and that surround it. Like literally there's almost no worse place on all of Eorzea for people to live than Amdapor City that I can think of. Like, I think that literally might be, like the worst place. As for Amdapor Keep, has similar problems, not quite as bad, but similar problems, and is also, like, intentionally locked away. Also is filled with cultists and void scent. And other manner of traps. And on top of that, most of the refugees are not set up in Gridania. And also, that's all to say, that's also under the auspice of assuming that the elementals would allow refugees in, which they didn't, which is part of why there are not refugees in Gridania in the first place. So, Professor. Right, but, like, properly clearing out the city is not going to happen because literally only you and, like, 3 other people are even allowed to go in. It's, for hundreds of years, it's had a barrier around it, preventing anyone from even accessing it. So that's not going to be fixed for hundreds, if not potentially thousands of years. And as for Keep, every time it gets cleared out, more things get found and other things try to infest it. So it's not really a safe place. And again, that's assuming the elementals even allow people in. Yes, okay, I'll make DP a regular part of, like, I love him and I'll make him a regular part of the thing, but clearly people love the good boy. I'll have him start out the stream sometimes. I had him start out one of our streams in the chair and the camera pointed at him. If it isn't Delio Fortron, the Scion's rising star, is there aught I can do for you? You wish to win the trust of the people of Little Alamigo. That is a daunting task, my friend, even for our own countrymen. I like nothing more than to help, but I'm afraid my name no longer carries weight with that lot. I know it's going to be bad and it's going to be switching all over the place. I'm just going to keep trying and practicing. I used to be a member of the Alamegan resistance, you see, but I left in favor of joining the Scions. Though my allegiances may have shifted, my purpose remains ever the same, the liberation of Alamigo. Yet, whatever my reasons were, I abandoned my comrades, and they'll have nothing to do with me. Now, while I may have no more friends in the Resistance, I know someone who does. Her name is Albreda, and she is a resident of Quarrymill. Say my name when you meet her, and she won't lead you astray. Shame it had great architecture. It does, Eden. Yeah. Also, Professor. I love the pitch and idea. I don't mean to be a shutdown. I just mean, like, in terms of, like, my background, my knowledge base, and my personal opinion, that would kind of be akin to saying, why don't we house people in the Palace of the Dead? I mean, it's like hundreds of levels of dungeons. Why not just put people in there? It's like, well, I mean, like, yes, technically, but, like, there are some complications. Hey, Tethys! Glad you got to join us. The elementals sound like jerks. At least the jerks in Old Dog can be paid off. Yeah, the elementals are problematic. But yeah. Honestly, it's surprising more than anything. Because the legacy of piratery, there is a problem with not having enough jobs in Limsa still. Like, Limsa has its own problems around that, and for a bunch of reasons. That said, I am surprised there isn't more of a narrative around Alamegans and other refugees being brought in for farming for Limsa. I know there's some of that, and part of it is that, like, a lot of the Limsan refugees or like Lenosian refugees are already taking that spot, and the pirates are already who are trying to shift over are taking that spot. So it's not like it's not already filled, but yeah. Oh, real quick, I need to give Issa permissions. How do I even open up Link Shell? What is it even under? Social. There we go. There you go, Issa. Now you can invite people and have permissions. Albreda. Eh? You want me to introduce you to the Resistance? Huh. Why the hell should I do that? Give me just one reason. Bitch, I know a friend. Haribert send you? A worthless whoreson. He abandons his comrades, his woman, and now he has the gulls to ask me a favor? Simply incredible. It's just me. I realize Haribert was only doing what he felt was right. He's a good man if he trusts you, and that's all I need to know. See that bloke there? That's Mefred, a captain of the Resistance. I hope you can give him what you need. I hope he can give you what you need. I would point out that the white mages are the current white mages in Pagel and elementals are like tasked with maintaining it. Well, the white mages in Pagel are tasked with maintaining the barrier and keeping people out of Amdapor. Like they're not going to allow the twin adders to go into Amdapor. As far as they're concerned, they still see it as too dangerous. Not really. Anyways, not like major excursions. Especially because there's so much other land to be occupied. And it doesn't really solve the problem because the main issue is not that the refugees don't have a space to live. It's that they don't have a space to live. They don't have jobs. They don't have ways to create crops and food and trade and goods. Like that's the main problem. And literally Amdapor City and Amdapor Keep both have problems with their Aether, especially the Amdapor City in terms of like you couldn't grow anything there. And Amdapor Keep has its own problems around that and doesn't have any farmland in it. It only has the 12's Wood around it. And if you try to go hunting in 12's Wood, you're going to get killed, executed, or put in jail by the Wood Whalers and fucked with by the Elementals. So like if you try to farm or do stuff like that, that's not going to work either. And Limsa, as we found out when we started there, the soil there, it was really messed up by the Calamity. So there's only so much arable land in Limsa currently, in Winosia currently. I, Mefred, a proud man of the Alamegan resistance. What business do you have with me, adventurer? Captain, it's Galleon, sir. His wound's gone and festered. He's burning up. I don't think he's got much time. Gods damn it! I asked the villagers for aid! Got on my knees and begged, but they refused to lift a finger. If Galleon dies, his blood is on their hands. These quarry mill caravans would turn up, cravens would turn a blind eye to our plight, but they might listen to Alberta. I fear my anger will prevent me from rightly convincing anyone at the moment. I realize we scarce know each other, but this is a matter of life and death. Please, adventurer, go to her and try. If you recognize him, you may recognize him from Storblood. Who are you saying I'm defending, Tethys? Because if you're talking about Gridania, I was just attacking Gridania. That's not to their credit. That's saying fuck the elementals. One of Methfred's in bad shape, you say? Well, I'm sorry, but there's naught I can do. I want to help, truly I do. They're my countrymen after all, but they mean going against the elementals' will. I'm not gonna save a guy I could because the elementals say so. I've been in Quarry Mill long enough to know how right terrible the beings can be. I couldn't forgive myself if everyone gets banished because of me. Oh no, if one person tries to help save someone and it goes against the wills of elementals, she might not just be on the line, everyone here might be screwed. Gridania is more fucked than the people who treat it as a pure, beautiful, lovely place think it is. If there's anyone who can help you, it'd be Charlene, the hamlet's resident curer. If you take the matter to her, might be she'll listen. Though I wouldn't get my hopes up. Indolence. Ooh, Nicole. Ooh, good one, good one. Hey, Galeen is the false griffin. Oh man, I totally forgot that. Good point. You wish to aid the Alamegan? You wish to aid the Alamegans? You're possessed of a kind heart, adventurer, but I'm afraid I have no further authority to grant you your wish. The authority belongs only to the elementals, eternal guardians of the Twelveswood. All outsiders, be they babes at the breast of a man, or men grown, are judged of a night, whether they may have a place beneath the boughs. Fuck the elementals. Alas, the Alamegans' petition has been denied. Harsh though it may seem, they do not have leave to receive of the wood's bounty. Ever has it been since time immemorial, and ever shall it be. Which is bullshit, because that has not actually been how it's been for forever. Especially with Gridania has only been around for the better part of 700, 800 years? Yeah, 800-ish years. Like, yes, the elementals have been around longer than that, but like, Gelmora was like, oh, hell no, and went underground instead of dealing with the elementals. Most other people went into the Shroud, found the elementals, and went, oh, fuck no, and left. Hey, Chris! Petition to kick out the elementals. I don't know that would work. Oh, it's pretty fucked up, but look at the view. Exactly, Brotherhood. This is what I talked about in Discord. The hearers, no one recognized the comment on how shitty the elementals policy are. The elementals are horrible, but the people not. No, I disagree, Tethys. I think if you see a system, if there's a system that is bad and is problematic, and your response to that is to say, well, I can't do anything about it. It's not my responsibility to change it. It's not my, and you are just as culpable. You are choosing to be part and parcel to what the elementals do. So no, I disagree. I think they are just as culpable because they choose to abide by it. That's how it be then. The bloody hearers might as well kill Galleon herself. Spit on the elementals and spit on their bloody will. I cannot wait until the resistance is free of this place. It's literally what everyone in the Western world does, though. Yeah, but there's more, there is a difference between being part and parcel. Are you saying that Western expansionism, Western capitalism, Western imperialism
am I part and parcel of that because I don't reject it actively enough? Yeah, that might be a fair argument. But I'd say there's a difference between me being like, well, it's really shitty, but what can you do? And saying, this is shitty, I vote, the people I vote against it. The choices in my life I choose to do, I vote against it. When I try to buy things, I try to be conscientious about that. Like, there's the active efforts you can take may not change things in terms of like fundamentally being the thing that changes everything. But that doesn't mean that there isn't a difference between saying I'm going to take a stand and stand for something and abide by that versus what can you do? Like, those are different. Brotherhood, you're letting people die. They're letting people die. They could save these people. Like, you don't have to go just to the extremist of extremes. They are willing to abide by a system that says, I have the power to save someone who is dying right near me, but an ethereal spirit says no, and I'm saying, okay, I'm good with that. Like, yeah, I'm sorry, to me that is just no question. That is, you are culpable. This is... I led my man to the quarry mill hoping to find refugees. Instead, we found indifference. The cold-blooded bastards have want us out, and I can't oblige them soon enough. The problem is, they're literally refugees, for God's sake. Some of the mines aren't fit to travel. Hells, Galen can't even stand. As you well know, the people of this accursed hamlet won't help us, so I have no choice but to turn you to you, adventurer. In my homeland, long antelope horns traditional remedy with poison purging properties. If you could bring me, say, 4 horns, I'd forever be in your debt. Got all my... And also, I do think, like, it's almost concerning that the only time to be worried about something like that is if it's only at its most extreme. Then I think that should... We should be mindful of that. It's like, only if something is at its absolute worst is that when we say, yes, that's the problem. That I am also personally of a mind that I think that is also... Apathy in the face of adversity is evil in the lethargic state. I mean, literally, what... Guys, like, what is one of the primary themes of this game, and what is one of the primary sayings in the game? I'm forgetting the exact wording of the full line, but, failing to act to save those who could be saved is not wisdom, it's indolence. That's what this is. It's indolence. It's not, they have the power to do good and to save, and they are willfully choosing not to out of fear. But the thing is that they're not even arguing it about fear. They're saying, nope, my gods have said this, ergo, they're effectively, my gods have said this, so I will abide by it. Like, so if they buck the system, elementals destroy quarry mill, are you not culpable? No, if the elementals destroy quarry mill, then you need to say, let me put it to this point. If you're doing that, then maybe you should rebel against the elementals, and maybe trying to maintain this harmony is not worth the sacrifices of other people's lives. If your argument is, oh no, the elementals are going to kill other people, well, one, the ruins of Gelmora still exist. We can still go underground. We know that worked for hundreds of years. But also, if the Pagil are unable to quell the elementals enough to prevent them from massacring an entire village because these people saved one individual who is poisoned, then they're evil, as far as I'm concerned. The elementals are just effectively evil. Lawful evil, but evil. You're back. Tell me you've got 4 horns with you. Because in my mind, that is an evil act. You're a godsend, adventurer. Praise Ralgar. There's at least one man in this place who gives a damn. Now we just need to find a way to prepare them. You wouldn't happen to know a man named Buskaran, would you? Some comrades of mine told me about him once. They say he never turns away folk in need, no matter where they're from. Seeing as he runs a tavern, he'd like to have the tools to make the medicine. I'd be grateful if you could take the horns over to him, have them ground down. When they're done, bring the powder back and give it to Firemoon. Here, Godspeed. We can just teleport. What I'm meaning is I don't understand the rules of the elementals, but they seem to think helping them would cause the anger of the elementals, which last time wasn't great. Yeah. But I mean, like, I'd stand... So the way he framed it is that the elementals specifically deemed it so, and we know the elementals can converse with the Pagil as well. So like we know they have direct lines to them, often. So if we assume that he wasn't told that specifically, oh hey, it's Ray. If we assume that he wasn't told that in specific, then that means that he's interpreting their will and choosing to do that, which is unconscionable to me. Or the elementals specifically just told them to do that, in which case I think the elementals are effectively evil. Apathy is death. Yeah, because the gameplay is teaching gamers about indolence. Yeah, it's literally like the story being taught. So is there something they can do against the elementals? In our government, we can take a stand against government, corporation, etc. If something like that possible against the elementals? Yes. So there's a couple of ways you can do that. You can, one, literally you could rebel against the elementals. Two, the Pagel could actively seek to calm them and make more active efforts to find ways to balance their case and balance their wrath in other ways. Like we've seen that happen elsewhere. The other argument is you could heal the person. You could remove the person from the 12's wood, heal them, and then either have them return or say like you could walk out of the 12's wood with the person, heal them, save their life, and then say like, I hate this. If you come in, they may attack, and that's still evil on their part, but that's still something you could do. It's still saving a life and maybe not having full control of a situation, but there is a difference between a imperfect solution and not taking any action at all. Those aren't it's not that the only choices are a perfect solution that solves everything or nothing. There are spaces in between. It's just like some people's relationship with religion. My God is all loving, but he will torture you for eternity if you don't do what he says. Worship. Yeah. I mean, the elementals apparently care fuck all about Buscaron. Yeah. No good base. Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is that it's more than that. Like, the thing is, that mentality has nothing in the end to do with religion. It has to do with belief, and it has to do with absolutism, which often become elements of different kinds of religion. But that it's saying, this is my line. I will not act. I will either be apathetic or I will not act ethically because what I choose to say my morals are run against what is probably what could be considered damn near universally ethical. Oh, I forgot to actually get the fucking horns. I'm not arguing that it's not evil, but at least they recognize it's wrong as opposed to... No, there's no difference. In fact, I find it worse if you recognize it's wrong and then are abiding by it. That's no better. That is 0% better. That is, I know this is wrong, but I'm gonna still do it. That's not... Merlib saying strength determines who should live, or the Syndicate treating living beings as currency. Yeah, the Syndicate treating living beings as currency is a problem, but also, one, you can act with them. Two, the people have an advocate in Nanamo. Like, there's complications. Like, every society is complicated. That's not a question. And there's not incredible flaws in Ul'dah. And Limsa, like, that mentality comes from the fact that their culture has had to survive that way for the better part of the past couple hundred years. Notice, Merlib is the same person who argues for changing that, pushing against it, and the changing to new ways as, I don't know why I went to Limsa. Merlib was on the vanguard of trying to change that and make a brighter future and better future. I know it teases about Granada, but it's hard to hear people blasting Granada together. So better. No, Tethys, I think your fundamental argument, you are just lumping everything in as if there's not context. This isn't about Gridania being the absolute worst. This is about whether a thing in specific is a problem. This is not, I hate Gridania the most. You can love Gridania the most. Gridania can be the world to you. And this can still be a fundamental problem that is of evil. This is not rah-rah Ul'dah. This is not boo-hoo Gridania. This is not rah-rah. This isn't that. This is, I adore the Pagel. Gridania is beautiful. Its music is one of my favorite city musics. That's not the point. The point is, this person has the ability to save someone, is choosing not to. The pirates who murder individuals are also evil. Like, and their rationalization that this is the way it has been is not a good one. Ul'dah, like, the fact, like, that's, the point is not saying, I'm of the mind that ever saying X is no better is pointless, because that is not looking at the topic. That's not looking at the discussion. It's not looking at the thing. You're just trying to, you're quickly falling into whataboutism at that point. Which is not useful. Elio, ever a sight for sore eyes. How fares the adventuring? Rolling in the coin like there's no tomorrow? No doubt. You got something to show me. Well, these look like good old antelope horns. Need them ground down to make medicine, you say? What about Ishgard? I mean, fuck! Ishgard perpetuated mass genocide not only against dragons, but in some ways arguably its own kind for the better part of 1,000 years. Fuck Ishgard on that metric too. Also, Ishgard's trying to make a better way with the Republic. It's trying to tries to move past that. There are people trying to heal those schisms. Whereas, as of 5.x and 6.0, there's, with the role quest, some argument that things can be shifting in Gridania, but there isn't a lot to say that there is an active effort for the push towards a different world. I had to say, what about you? But, like, that's the thing. The point is to interrogate the thing that is wrong. Don't start comparing the things that are wrong as a metric of, oh, this is why this place is just as bad or this place is better. Because the things that are wrong are the things that need to be addressed, not how bad another place is in relationship. My point about Gridania is to say that Gridania is the least problematic or not problematic is to ignore active things specifically told you in the MSQ. That's my point. Well, these look like good old antelope horns. Need them ground down to make medicine, you say. Here's a better idea. I'll give you some of the stuff I have in my stores. Aye, no stranger to the remedy. An Alamegan friend of mine once used it to treat my festering wounds years and years ago. Safe to say he saved my life. What's that? This is for an Alamegan soldier in Quarry Mill? So it comes full circle. Well, I hope it helps the poor Sada as needs it. Oh, and don't worry that little head off about payment. I still owe you a deal more than you owe me, I reckon. I think there is a non-zero chance at the pace I'm going that I'm going to just have to change the thumbnail to something about Little Alamigo, and then the thumbnail I have currently make for next time. Because I don't think there's any way I'm going to make it to Hawk Manor. We have sown in blood, we have reaped in suffering, it cannot go on. Yeah, exactly, with 5.4. Like, 5.4 is such a specific pushback against that. Also, Tethys, I'm happy to have this conversation. I know I get I can appear very intense, so apologize for that. I do not mean, nothing I'm saying is meant as a shutdown, is merely meant as like a, here is my stance, here's where I stand, here's my point, here's my arguments. Not as a, oh, I think you're dumb for saying that, or I think you're wrong. I disagree, but it's very different in my mind than saying, oh, you're just wrong. Because if I ever do that, fuck me. Because that's not useful either. But I will say, I disagree vehemently in certain places, and here's why, and here's my reasoning, and here's... If I can't give you a reason for why I disagree, then I don't necessarily think you should listen to me. Oh, it is well to see you returned. Have you the medicine for our brother? God bless you, adventurer. I'll see that Galeon receives treatment at once. Hopefully this will allow the captain rest easier. It has been a terrible burden on him, trying to keep every man alive. You've done us a great kindness, friend. If none of us got heated about fiction, we wouldn't be here. Yeah, my problem is I'm naturally a very intense person that works very much to not be, because I know it makes people, can make people upset for a variety of completely fair reasons. Adventurer, Galeon has gone missing. He's nowhere to be found. He shouldn't be walking about, not with those wounds. If he doesn't get the proper medicine and rest, his conditions like to deteriorate where it was before, or worse. And we need to help us find him. Quickly, start by asking Albreda. Might be as the woman's seen something. Gotta get Elio tilted for the lulz. That's not too hard, to be honest. It's not hard to get me intense. It is hard to actually get me tilted. That is pretty hard. To get me intense, though, is not very hard. Ah, finally. It's about time you came asking about Galeon. I watched him leave Quarry Mills some time ago, and he left me the sealed letter before he went. Made me swear not to open it until someone came asking. My brothers, I cannot bear to be a burden any longer. That is why I must leave you all. Do not worry for me. Just find your way safely to Little Alamigo. Blast it. Would I have known he was thinking what he was thinking, I'd have stopped this folly myself. The love Galen bears for his brothers is so strong, he's willing to sacrifice himself for them. Make no mistake, entering the wood in this weakened state is suicide. I will also say, if you enjoy actively trying to tilt people or upset them, know that I deeply disrespect. I do not respect that. Let that also be said. Like, if you get me impassioned because you have a thing you really want to talk about, that's totally fine. Don't worry about that. But like, if you enjoy making people upset, I frown pretty heavily on that. Out of the wilds, alone? That fool, that great big sentimental fool. My men and I will scour the woods for Galen. Please help us find him before something terrible happens. Good night. Well, mates, will be my first European to say good night here. Sleep tight, folks. See you, Brotherhood. Sorry if you missed this. So always glad to have you. Yes, Gridania reminds me of Lothlorien. Yeah, absolutely, Catherine. I totally see it. For a second, I was worried, Tethys. I thought you were hopping off, too. That's basically my hobby in NN. NN. Don't know what NN is. And honestly, it's hard for me to like think through what acronyms are while trying to do all this at the same time. Nini Brotherhood. Having played an MERP campaign for 12 years, I agree with Gridania's Lothlorien. Yeah. I mean, the difference being mainly that Lothlorien's trees are far taller. If anything, the closer, I think, analogy would be somewhere like Hortika. But, I mean, yes, broadly, I agree with the idea. Wait, my basic hobby in Novice Network is to shitpost and global... Why? Why would you do that? Like, why? Like, why would you try to antagonize people? Like, one thing I will have to say, like, I do not understand being antagonistic towards people unless you are, like, pretty close friends and, like, have a rapport. In fact, it kind of typically just makes me sad. Watch out! A goblin! Oh, poor Gobby. Gobby gonna knife you! Gobby Winkles! So Gobby, you're good! Gobby very tired. I think that's why I fell in love with so much. Yeah, Tethys, I totally get that too. Although, honestly, even gay... You know, honestly, I would say that Gridania is, in a lot of ways, more representational of somewhere like Rivendell. Like Imladris. Because both, like, in Tolkien's depiction and in the filmic depiction, the way that Imladris, like, represents that sort of, like, a place that has maintained but also still exists reasonably in and of the world, whereas Lothlorien through Nenya has like is far more of a time when the lamps still existed or the trees still existed. You know, to me, like, there isn't quite someone like, if anything, do you only get there with something like obviously the pixie world isn't like Lothlorien, but like it's so much more Fae even. Ohana means family. Family means no one gets left behind or forgotten. Galen! Captain, but why? You should all be on your way. What do you take us for? We're Alamegans! Alamegans never forsake one another, hardship be damned. Remember the oath we swore, gods, damn it. The oath to reclaim our homeland. We'll set foot on Alamegan soil again. Together. Or not at all. Do you understand me? Oh, with foreknowledge of what comes next for both of them, that's so sad. Yes, sir. Good. Let us return to our brothers. Oh, and don't even think that you'll get off lightly. As soon as you're healed, I'll give you such a thorough thrashing you'll wish we didn't find you. Can't thank you enough for saving Galen. I will see you back at Quarry Mill. Does it count as antagonistic if I just sit around and make terrible puns? No, Des. Oh, also, hi, Des. I don't know if I said hi earlier. I don't know if I saw you. But, no, that's not antagonistic. I just mean, like, if you're, like, doing anything to, like, make someone's day more frustrating or worse. And, like, no, I don't think, like, someone groaning at a pun is making their day more frustrating. That's, like, I will never understand that. Some people, it's perfectly normal for them. Some people, it's, like, that's, yeah. But for me, I will never. Even if you only win for Dutch. Yeah, Tethys. That's not antagonistic. That's awesomeness. Hey, you're an Alamegan ass. Ain't so sloppy anymore. I'm trying to get there, Professor. It's going to keep dropping and going all over the place, but I'm working on it. Definitely going to keep practicing, especially off stream. Ohana means family. And Ohana means Ohimark. Ohana means family. Ohana means Ohimark. 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 I'm trying to think of where the like monotone. I did not kill her. I did not. Ohimark. I just happened to say, so hi. Oh, good to see you. Actually curious how Alamigo got its name. We don't know. With its history, it could have come as a byproduct of, it could have come as a byproduct of Scala, could have come as a byproduct of Andapor or Mach, but that's speculation. I would think probably most likely Scala. Stitch.exe has crashed. We know so little about Scala, though, it's almost impossible to say anything about what that means. Is that an impression of Stitch doing the room? Yes. I did not kill her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark. You're tearing me apart, Lisa!
Galen's expected to make a full recovery. We'll linger here till he's strong enough to take on the road again. As much as I mislike the place, beggars can't be choosers.
I was not prepared for Alamegan accents.
Now that things are relatively settled, I seem to recall you wanted something of me. You've proven a true friend to my people. Ask of me anything and it's yours. Not so long as it's mine to give. A cooperation of the people of Little Alamigo. That's all? Far be it from me to question your desires, of course. Very well, I'll provide you with a letter to Shogun Gundabald. The old bear was my mentor when he first joined the resistance. He's intimidating to those who know...
Good job to the people who level up the FC.
Intimidating to those who don't know him, but will take care of his own. I have no doubt that he will be all in his power to aid you.
I'm glad that seems to have made people laugh. So these guys are walking across the desert and one asks, should we stop? And the other says, no.
Beautiful, Tethys. Beautiful.
It means friendship, a symbol of unity of the people. It's taken from the ancient language phrase, alamigos. That's alamigo. Oh, good job. Is that case, Des? I have, right now, my strongest subjects are before Stormblood. And I have not deep dived into Alamigo's history particularly heavily. I have not hit too hard on... I definitely haven't studied the first almost intentionally. I've been waiting for EE3 to come out. So yeah, there's plenty of things I don't know. Sadly, I have to run. Husband is taking me out to dinner. See you next stream. See you, Chris. Thanks for joining. Glad to have you. Oh, just a bad Spanish pun. Oh, okay. Do the refugees come through Pagalthon at all? No, because Pagalthon is here. So the refugees would have been coming from here. So they would have come here. Like, they might have gone through Mordona, they might have gone through the Shroud, but there's no reason that they would have ended up in Pagalthon. Like, even if they traveled here, the roads would have led them through Mordona. It would have turned here. But if anything, the normal path would have been to go, like, something like... To either go like that, or to go like that. Depends on if they went through Northern Thanalin or through, like, Eastern Thanalin. Because if they went through Eastern Thanalin, that leads to the Shroud here, but Northern Thanalin leads to Mordona. So no matter what, though, they're not coming through Pagalthon. Like, they're not even touching anywhere like Zarok or Zenrock. Or Zaharak.
Ooh, why you haven't returned? You're not welcome here. I thought I made that clear. You spoke with Mithrid? It's been so long since I last heard from him. I had feared him dead. 12 be praised. Whoever you are, Methrid sees you as a friend, and any friend of Methrid is a friend of mine. I know of this masked stranger you seek, and will tell you what I can. An outsider resembling a masked stranger has reportedly been appearing near Little Alamigo of late. What's more, it seems that some of our young bloods are meeting him in secret. No doubt you'll want to question them about their trysts, but they're not like to yield information readily to an outsider. If you tell them I sent you, though, they may well be obliged to talk. Masked man? No idea what you're talking about. I ain't done nothing wrong, so leave me be. Gundabald sent you. Listen, I told them it was a bad idea. All that tripe about believing the masked man, and... Oh, you don't know anything about this. What? Why didn't you say so to start with? You can't throw an old bad's name around like that and expect me to not think I'm in for it. Did the refugees come through? I was trying to figure out routes around Baelsar's wall. No. The refugees primarily, 20 years ago, Baelsar's wall wouldn't have really been a thing. I mean, it would have started to have been a thing. But the other thing is that there would have been routes to escape outside of that. Like, they could have escaped from the waters into the canals, the Black Shroud. And forgetting the name of this channel, this river. I guess, in theory, they could have gone over the spine, which could have taken them through Zephlotol. I don't know of any example that when saying they did that. I know some people went into the spine, but I don't remember them ever talking about dealing with Zephlotol. So, but that doesn't mean that it didn't happen. It's just not in my memory banks. But yeah, that's also why you don't see a lot of people. That's why if you look, so like in terms of the refugees from El Amigo specifically, not Calamity refugees, but they're coming from here. Their first step is Black Shroud, but the elementals are like, oh fuck no. So they're going to continue on. So they're going to end up in Mordona and Thanlin. Now Mordona is because of what happened with the Agrius and Midgard Summer. Mordona is not a great place, so they're going to keep going down. That's why so many ended up in Thanlin. Thanlin is the closest to being like Yerbania, and it's the first place that would have been like readily accessible to them, ironically, seeing as it's literally more than halfway across the damn continent. Mark Ammons. At some point I thought I'd remember tunnels being mentioned. Yeah, I'm sure there were. There's a lot of different... people got out in a lot of different ways. There are secret tunnels. Secret tunnels! We know that like remnants of like Scala... We know... So that's very, very likely. How some of them got out. We know that there's secret entrances. There must be secret entrances in and out because we know Lys was able to get in. Real Lys, not our Lys. Actual Lys. So there's definitely at least some secret passages in and out. Be they that through Abalathia or some other means. You either... Yeah. Hey! Oh, everyone's downstairs. And a friendly reminder, any super chats from the stream will be going towards the giving the T emotes to people in our Discord. And we've already raised $75, so thank you very much for that, for people who have done that so far. Maybe if we get to an even 100, I mean, let's think $75. How many are we buying? So $50 is 10. If we get to $100, we could buy 20 emotes. That's the vast majority of people who are regularly active. So, I mean, think about the raffle. If we do a raffle or an Quiz Night and stuff, we'll have plenty of stuff to do. Lore, did they release a Set 16 trailer today? Because if so, I have not seen it yet, and let's try to not mention too much about it, please. True, I forgot the Kurthus was only recently an isolated wasteland. Yes. Before the 7th Umbral Calamity, it was basically like, not tropical in the ways Lenosia is, but it was like a verdant green grassland. It was like alpine. Like, did they build the wall to keep Eorzeans out or Alamegans in? Yes. The answer is yes. What have I been meeting in a masked man lately? Let's see. Nope, can't say I have, but I'll be sure to tell my friends you're looking for him. There's a bunch been skulking around about right suspicious, like but got nothing to do with him. I know trouble when I see it, and there's not trouble mark me words. We keep trying. But if there was a new 16 trailer, dude, that's very exciting. I'm excited to watch that after stream. Although the first thing I need to do after stream is, if we don't get to Hawk Manor, is to make sure that I do change the thumbnail and the title. Maybe I'll change it to Punks Summon... well, they don't actually summon it. I was gonna say Punks Summon God. So you have indeed confirmed my suspicions about the Masked Man. That's most troubling.
Whatever the young ones are scheming, it can't lead to no good end. There's an anger inside them. I can see it in their eyes. I ought to know, for it once burned within me as well. 2 decades ago, this same anger drove me to my brothers to rise against the despot who ruled Alamigo, the Mad King. Not would do about to depose him and usher in the revolution. Well, we got our revenge, all right, but it will cost us our freedom. Blinded by our hate, we didn't realize that we had been dancing to the Empire's tune. By the time we did, it was too late. Alamigo had fallen. There are times when a man must be patient. Now is such a time. Though the young ones know this not. Unless we intervene, they're like to commit great folly. If you learn aught to their plans, I would thank you to bring word to me. Punk's attempt to summon a god. It's just, the problem is the YouTube, you can't have something that long. You have to have something that's pithy and only like 3 to 4 words. Sally, that's just the reality. Well, hey, adventurer, you done talking with the old bear? I got a message for you from Wilrid. Lad's something of a leader amongst the young ones here. He's impressed that you won over Gundobald and wants a word with you. Says he'll be waiting over the craggy area north of you. This feels safe. Hawk Manor, it's just a manor filled with nothing but burbs. It's a manor filled with nothing but boobs? Ah, okay, not nothing but boobs. There's a lot of succubi there, that's all I'm saying. But Lowray, was there a new 16 trailer? Because if so, that's exciting. I thought it'd be a bit. Everyone likes a good pair of blue-footed boobies. They're a lovely burb. You thought the Void Sun was an eyeball monster? Nope, boob monster. Oh, beautiful, Nicole. Beautiful. I love that blue-footed boobies is a minion. I mean, it's not called a blue-footed booby, but it is a blue-footed booby. Yeah, this definitely feels safe. Thanks for coming, friend. There's no ordinary outsider who can gain the trust of Old Bear. That's why I wanted to meet you, to discuss something in private. Tell me, why are you snooping about? Did the Empire send you, or someone else? Curl got your tongue. No matter. Whoever it is you work for, your meddling ends here. Get him! I'm gonna kick some ass. I do appreciate that they're all pugilists. I love that he's an Alamegan youth, but his face looks like that of a 56-year-old man. Have you read the books in the Great Google Library? Yes, I actually referenced them in one of my newer videos. There's a journal that describes the process of transforming the Lady of Hawk Manor. Yes, a lot of great lore in those books. There's also a section on a Rogadin who's fallen in love with Brave Flocks, and a explanation for why magic spells are Fire 1, Fire 2, Fire 3, Fire 4, and it's because a council of Amdapor decreed that like Fire Ga, Fire Ja was just becoming too confusing. So there's an in-world explanation for it. You're stronger than you look. This changes nothing. Threaten us and beat us bloody all you like, but nothing short of death can make us give up our fight. We're going to obtain the power of bringing down the Empire, and with it we'll reclaim our homeland. Our life will do that to you. Yeah. His face is just muscular. Working them jaw muscles. Speaking of, I need to get like a jaw massage. I didn't realize how like much like grinding and TMJ and stuff I had going on until I started doing all these voices, because I like tense my mouth when I like talk in not my normal voice. It is painful. But sadly, I neither have time nor budget for that. Auroria, I feel like that's the first time I've seen you comment in a while, and the fact that the first thing you commented is his face is just muscular fills me with joy. Silence, silence, silence. He's just got a strong face. Why do I keep getting thrown off by that? I keep thinking that's the way I came in. Usually better than this. Aw. Tethys, thank you. Appreciate it very much. Also, you can dictate what sort of voice you want me to do when you put things in there, and I will read them out. Assuming it's not like actively gross. And I leave that up to your guys' rationale, because I'm not saying raunchy is unfair. We all know what Serene does. Oh yeah, bring in the ambience. That's 2 more T emotes, I believe. Unless it's $2, in which case we're gonna get a fuck ton. Anyone know how much the T emote is? Passively gross. Ah, yes. Bringing the ambience with cookies. Attacked by Wilbert and his cronies, they would go to such lengths for the sake of this plan of theirs. Left to their own devices, young fools are like to harm of others. If not themselves, we must uncover their agenda and put an end to this madness. Is the T-emote 7? Fuck! Oh well. At least we're gonna get 10 of them. That's crazy. That's bonkers. Hope that money's going towards server architecture. Wilbur mentioned obtaining the power would bring down the Empire. Oh, what power could we be speaking? Gundabald! The amount of underboob going on in that outfit. Lordy, like, how does, like... Okay, yeah, whatever. Just gonna roll with it. Gods preserved. What happened? I was out foraging when the corpse brigade came. They took me to their hideout and they... The whole while they laughed at me. They said that I'd suffer because I cling on to hope. Is it wrong to dream of a home? Is it wrong to call ourselves Alamegans? Do not heed such poisonous notions, child. Our dreams are what sustain us. Be strong, I swear to you. These villains will answer for their crimes in due time. But tell me, does anyone know of this? Wilred, he saw me outside. He was so angry. Important to note that most of the kids, or like people in their like early 20s, would not have Alamegan accents typically because they never grew up in Alamigo. I mean, they might because of their parents and stuff, but I must turn to Bertlinia in the meantime. I need you to find out when the young ones make of this. I fear they may do something rash. $4 in the UK? Ah, the buying power of the euro. Although wait, are you even on the euro? You're probably on the because of Brexit. I guess it depends on where in the UK. Where are they? Oh, I think they're outside. Okay, not our girls are Boombas. I changed my vision on underboob after my dress up turn. I love to hang around with my Alamigos. They'd be dialect mutts. They might be. I mean, it could be all sorts of ways. It depends, right? Because if you're a young kid and your parents speak it, but like, for instance, you're spending all your time around brass blades and people in Ul'dah, it might develop that way. It could also, I know people in situations like that where they just straight up don't have their parents' accents. Have we seen any rogue male kids? No, we have not. What? Those animals did to Bertlinia is unforgivable, and to think they look down on us. I'll suffer the simulation no more. I'm with Wilrid to the bitter end. I'm not afraid of a few lizards. You say our underboob is not logical. Sure. After release, I think they were consistent. There. Also, hi, Pedro. Are you talking? No, but there's a difference between side boob and underboob. That's not. My point is that there's nothing to support it staying down because there wasn't a lot in terms of side. It was all on the top. That was my point. As for why I'm Super Saiyan mode, I have no answer. I literally have no buffs up. I just am. Fear me. Speaking of that, I do hope we see Road Children 7.0. It's been long past due. If we do, it'll be an air slaint. It's a lot of work to... it's not a lot, but it is work to create kid models. Because you also have to rig them and do everything. Almighty Ralgar, Lord of Destruction, we implore you, lead us, lend us your strength, and put an end to the suffering of your people. Here to interfere again? Well, you're too late. Our plan is already in motion. Once we have the crystals, our enemies will pay for their crimes, and no one will dare oppress us ever again. That always works so well. I've been here for a while, but lurking, busy with our real life. Oh, yeah, well, thank you for lurking all the same. I appreciate it. I deeply appreciate when you comment. I also appreciate anyone who's lurking right now who doesn't like talking. I'm also glad for your company and your presence. I'm sorry if I don't mention you. I don't have like a list of who's on currently. It just those who speak. The power of warriors. You already have a basis of sorts for the general look if we take inspiration from Galka. Now, the problem isn't coming up with a way for them to look. The problem is the work involved with making it work. Because you have to create the model, make the rigging work, make sure that all the clothing and stuff works. Because, for instance, if you make a rogue kid, unless you give them directly a Eorzean physique, which kind of defeats somewhat the point, there's more work involved with it than that. So I don't think the problem is that they don't know what their conception of it would look like. I think the problem is that the work involved is just, it invites a bunch of complications that then they have to deal with rather than prioritizing other things. But I think it's possible we see one with the air slaint. We also know that Lalafell children are not, except for like when they're first born, which we're not quite sure how big they are exactly, but Lalafell grow to like adolescence and like close to adult size very quickly. If the plan succeeds, we'll have the power to lay the Empire low, to change the world for the better. Might be Gundabald's content to eke out an existence in this musty old cave, but I'll be damned if I'm going to spend the rest of my life here. Now, where in the Seven Hells did I put that bloody map? Legit, do rogue kids exist? Yes. 100% yes. You already just waiting on the fates to spawn in Kruthus. I don't know if that's referencing something, Professor, or if you're like hanging out with people or what. Also, reminder, we have created an FC and there are a lot of people hanging out with it. If you are on Crystal Curl, you can join it. If you aren't, but you still want to talk to people, we have a cross-world link shell set up. And you can get an invite from me, Ray Ray, or Isidoro. So feel free to message any of those people. And if you want to do so, easiest way is to join our Discord, where we have constant conversations and have all sorts of fun, good times. Self-promote, self-promote, self-promote. It is not my natural disposition to want to push my stuff. Where is this final person? Checked all. Oh, that's why. Oh, right. They're going to steal the Amalsha crystals. That's what their plan was. Oh, my relics. Nice. The Black Mage one, right? Thank you, Ray Ray. Gone. What, the whole lot of them? Then it is as I feared. They mean to take matters into their own hands. But what exactly is it that they mean to do? They're gonna fuck shit up. What's this? A hunting knife. And a map of Zanrak. Wait. You said Wilrid spoke with the crystals, did you not? But they couldn't possibly mean to... By the gods. This is rank madness. Madness. This is Alamigo! The young fools are untrained and bloodied old. They'll have no notion of how dangerous the Amalja are. They'll be butchered before they get within 100 malms of the crystals. 100 yalms. They're headed east. If we hurry, we may find them yet before it's too late. Because you're humble. Thank you, D. I try. I have ambitions. I have, like, desires to want to do things. But I tend not to be overly presumptive about the things people are willing to offer. That's why I'm deeply appreciative for all y'all to talk to, that you guys watch, that you guys engage with it, and that the stuff I make means something to you guys. Like I don't know, just as a microcosm, the fact that I can put all the effort into something that I feel proud of, like the most recent Flow video, and that it can have the response of a lot of people being emotionally touched by it. And I realize part of that is not my work, it's Soken's work, right? But another part of that is the thing that I was able to create is such that it just makes it all really enjoyable. Is there an explanation for Yda's outfit more than because it makes her body look great? Yda's? I don't feel like Yda's accentuates her body that much. Oh, fuck. I was not expecting it to be that far. Do you mean Lisa's outfit and Stormblood? Because if so, it's a traditional Alamegan garb. That's why. Like her dress. Just know that Lisette is the chief ambience officer for the FC. She doesn't do anything except offer ambience. If you had a boombox, I get the feeling you'd run around with it. Yep. Okay, cool, Professor. Is there a silent agreement to not talk about 2.0 Menthilia's outfit? No, Pedro, it's not that there isn't an agreement not to, it's that we did at length before. We can talk about it again if you want, but there was like a 15-minute long like diatribe on that, where we talked at length, both broadly and specific in other women's opinions on the matter. So no, it's not unspoken, I promise you that. You mean Yda? I don't know, because I don't feel like it accentuates her body that much. So can't say. I actually feel it's pretty conservative in a lot of ways. Like, especially for an Alamegan outfit. Surely these outfits to distract away from her face. Am I just like literally blanking on something? Okay, give me a second. Give me one quick second. Screen's gonna go black for a second. Don't mind me. Oh, actually, why am I doing it this way? I can do it this way. Screen's going back up. Maybe I'm just... I mean, she's got cleavage, but it's not... Yeah, I guess I don't see that as particularly revealing. Just as a matter of my opinion. Yda's short is barely a piece of cloth. I mean... I feel like I have multiple partners who wear shorts that short. I don't like it. It's not like it's like a thong. It's just shorts. It's like shorts maybe, but it's not even like it's like super booty shorts. Her pants are very tight. I mean, most clothes in this game is very tight. Look, clearly a lot of you guys agree on this. I'm not like I'm only coming from like my eye opinion, not a like active disagreement with y'all. I'm on a break at the moment, but willing to help run some books with you. Oh, good, Atelier. That'd be awesome. You should totally do that. Wilrid, did the others... Wilrid, did no others survive? This is all wrong. Getting the crystals was supposed to be the start. We were going to reclaim our homeland. Put yourself together, lad. We were going to make an offering to the crystals to Ralgr to summon him, just like the masked man taught us. He plotted to sneak into Zanrak and make it off with the lizardmen cache. But they caught us and... So many dead. Gods, forgive me. Heathens, you shall pay for the crimes of your souls. I regret our young ones' transgressions, but a soul is too high a price for youth's folly. For all their failings, they are the hope of Alamegan people. This hope I will guard with my life. You can almost see her waistline. Yeah. And? I may just have a very different experience of modesty from some of y'all. Why do I mean, they don't have Scottish. They have more like Yorkshire accents, like think Sean Bean, than they do Scottish. And it's partly because my assumption is that it's very representational of like a kind of a working class accent, which gives them the vibe of being a more rough and tumble people who are more blue collary as a culture, which is true. And so I think seeing as like Eorzea broadly, they use English accents to depict different groups of people. In Heaven's Word on, it's actually, I think, a really smart choice on their part. I definitely thought you'd had the hottest outfit of the Scions in 2.0. Look, clearly a lot of you are all on the same page. Yeah, Professor, just give me like 5 suits. Yeah, okay, whatever. Tight clothes are kind of dumb if you're in a land with so many venomous creatures. Those clothes are generally recommended for areas with venomous snakes. Well, I mean, they are hanging out in... I mean, Alamigo, Thanolin, and Gridania all have those, so. I'm going to bring... your skill at arms are impressive adventure. A wayward youth could learn much for the man like you. The battle is won. It would be unwise to linger here. But let us return to little Alamigo. Wait, we've come all this way. We've come to get the crystals. They're right there, right for the picking. Have you learned nothing, Wilred? Did you not see those tempered wretches? Such is the fate of those who would be touched by a god. Is it that what you desire for yourself and your friends? What? No one said anything about that. The masked man told us we could defeat the Empire if we summoned Ralgar. He swore. Enough. I will hear the rest of your sorry tale back in Little Alamigo. I dare say Elio will wish to hear it as well. The point is that they are characters. They are supposed to express something in their... Yeah, but I guess when I look at Yida, the first thing I see are her, like, the armored legs. And, the clothing I see is, what that doesn't express super sexuality to me. That expresses someone who is, used to wearing light, is, a representation of their culture. Because Alamegan culture in general is very, like, is because it's a hot and arid environment is lighter, and so that's the thing you see throughout. And on top of that, there's a big focus on her legs and her like fists more than anything. I've literally up until this point never even thought of Yida's outfit as even like sexual or like scanty at all. Like I'm not saying that's a disagreement, just like an honestly like I haven't. So I can't really help you. Like to my mind, the fact of the matter is that like the fact that it's consistent with Alamegan garb is the most important thing more than anything else. Like honestly, if you want to like be like what the fuck with an outfit, like Minfilia is more like why is not only just like it's a boob, like it's just like you don't want to sexualize this character, but also we're just gonna like we're going to make a character with a 3-color palette, but the only part of one of that cover, the pink part, the part that your eye's gonna be drawn to, is gonna be the chest. And not only is it gonna be the chest, we're gonna make a boom that like emphasizes and focuses it. It's just like that's like it's not even that like I see it as overtly sexual. It's just a strange choice in my mind. I just felt okay. So Nicole's with me, so I'm not totally alone. I just felt like her pants are so tight that they would chafe uncomfortably. Let me pull up the image of her again. I don't know. I go running in like skinny jeans, so like I can't help you there. Like I typically when I go for runs do them in skinny jeans. So I'm pulling up some other videos to see if like I can, or other images to see if I can. Like, and I also think if you look at, for instance, like the traditional Alamegan dress that she wears during Stormblood too, like you see like a constant refrain of Alamegans wearing that too, which I know is not to say anything about your points about it chafing it, but just, you know. Yeah, it's a strong look for a character who draws attention to her legs, her mobility, light and good for utility, but also my eyes can't help but go to her downstairs reach. So I invite you into paying more attention to her huge, tight gap. I don't know what you mean. So I invite you into paying more attention to her huge, tight gap. I don't. No more lies, Wilred. Tell us everything. I was outside with the others when he appeared. The masked stranger. He told us about someone in Ralgar, about using crystals, then just vanished. We never saw him again. I wanted so desperately to believe that we could raise ourselves from the squalor, that we never stopped questioning his motives. But I should have known. There's no solution, nothing we could do to change our lot. Our peoples are doomed to live and die like beasts. Listen to me, Wilred. Our home may be lost to us, but it'll take more than stones and mortar to define who we are. No matter where we may be, Alamigo lives on within us all. It is for you to decide what to make of this legacy. But whatever you choose to do with your life, never forget that you owe it to this adventurer, an outsider. I won't. I promise. Thank you for saving me, and sorry I tried to kill you. What a strange child. My thanks as well, friend. It gives us hope to know that there are kind souls such as you out there. Little Alamigo may not have much in the way of comfort, but you will always be welcome here. Okay, yep, definitely gonna have to change the thumbnail because I'm only getting to the Alamigo thing. Let's see. I just want to see how far away I don't think I even got close. Back to school. Yeah, we're like, yeah. Okay, we got most of the way there, but I'm gonna have to change the thumbnail, but that's perfectly fine. I agree with you. What's DC? I'm a real-life belly dancer, and what I see is this. It has a freedom of movement, so she can fight in an outfit very easy. I dance, and I could easily dance in that. I love that outfit. Yeah. I mean, look, that's the other thing, too. Clothes and bodies are so subjective for a lot of people. Even what's comfortable, right? Like, what chafes and what doesn't. Like, for me, I don't chafe. Like, period. The only time I think I've ever chafed was because of... like optimal poor circumstances for a bunch of different reasons that really weren't even just about the clothes. Oh, thigh gap. Okay. I may be too immature for that. Let's all start staring at Yee's crotch. You run in skinny jeans? Yes, Nicole, I do. I find it far more comfortable than running. Like, I don't find like most like sporting equipment, like clothing, very comfortable. Waiting for them to let Nomura design the clothes for a nation. So many zippers, so many belts. Thigh gap. Let me pull up the image of her thigh gap. Yeah, it's pretty wide. But like, I mean, like a lot of people's are pretty wide. Like even the males. Like just as a byproduct of character design, honestly. I think for the game. Want to know how dragoons prevent their armor from chafing? Oh no. They use itch guard. I commend all of you who take the time to make these puns. Also, damn you to the 7th help. Things are only sexual if you make them sexual. I mean, Aurora, I broadly agree with that. I do think that there's a time and place like it's also there's a whole discussion around like what's sexual is not the same thing as provocative, is not the same thing as raunchy, is not the same thing as scantily, it's not the same thing as and then that's not to your point. I'm just saying that like, does sexuality require intent? And that I think that's that's a complicated thing. My favorite outfit in A Realm Reborn was Merle Webb. It was very awesome. Nothing to do with the Maelstrom at all. Yeah, I do love that outfit. Hey, Zeph, good to see you. We're actually probably going to be closing out soon, but great to see you. Always glad to have you. No, cool shoulders. No, Itchguard, love it. Itchguard. Okay, now everyone's talking about Itchguard. Okay, so for the final thing before we're going out, remember that any money that you put in super chats in these last few minutes is going towards T emotes for the entire Discord, and I will make sure to try and figure out with the money we got how many we can buy. I'll probably do it sooner rather than later. I kind of wish we could wait until a sale, even though it probably wouldn't be around for a couple months, but we should get at least about 10 or so out of this unless anyone puts any more money in the last couple seconds. With that said, tomorrow is Lore Book Club, which I actually forgot to make the event for, so we need to make the event for that and put that on the Discord. Speaking of which, you should join our Discord if you haven't already, and we have a lovely, fun time there where we talk about all sorts of Final Fantasy XIV things, not just exclusively lore, but, you know, all sorts of fun stuff, as well as often partner for looking for a group and do all sorts of fun things. On top of that, if you want to know when videos and or streams are going out, that is the most efficient way by far to know. That said, if you'd also like to support us, you can always toss us $1 on Patreon, which we will try to be, I think, hopefully, maybe revamping some of the rewards and the whole thing there to make it a little bit more friendly and more rewarding for those for people. We originally made it when we weren't necessarily having a bunch of patrons, and so we're kind of just throwing ideas to the wind. And super would love that support. Speaking of, if you like reading lore, but you like reading lore rather than watching lore, you can go check out our website, eorzeanarchives.com, where we have Niniri writes articles for the lore there. There's at least one other thing. What? I'm forgetting something, but for the life of me, I can't. Oh, yes, Saturday. Saturday is our community live stream, which we have every Saturday. If there's something you want to achieve, be it getting a mount, getting a minion, trying to complete a thing, trying to get light for a relic weapon, trying to finish, anything and everything. Eureka, Boja. Just make sure to message either me, Ray, Isidora, or Niniri about the thing that you'd like to do, and then we can, well, probably me or Ray mainly, but either of the other two would. And we will make sure to have that, put that away, and keep that recorded, and try to get that all set up for Saturday. Remember that we do live stream. The MSQ lore replay live stream is every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Wednesdays are the days for normal videos. And with that long ass laundry list of things out of the way, I think we're about done here. I'm going to make sure to read y'all's chat to make sure that I didn't miss anything, any questions or any thoughts about that. But after that, we'll be head out. Best thing of still learning English is not understanding half of these puns. Beautiful, Pedro. I'm back. The gods missed with their lightning again. Thanks for the stream. Always Atelier. Don't forget manicures for Lisette. Thanks for the stream. Always Jelly. Thanks for the stream. Always Dez. Catherine, thank you for the stream. Always Catherine. Rory, I hope everyone has a wonderful night. You too, Rory, and to everyone else. Hey, Dark Road. Great stream. Awesome. Great, Dark. I'm glad you liked it. Hey, I can make them now. Cool. Yeah, cool. You said Nicole. Yeah, but guys, don't be a stranger. I look forward to seeing you all next stream and the long journey we have in front of us, getting all the way up to 6.0, which I wonder if we'll do by the time of 7.0. We've got like 18-ish months, so it's conceivable. That said, have a lovely week. I might see some of you, but have a lovely week regardless to all of you. And I'll make sure to change the thumbnail, seeing as right now it's set up to be Hawk Manor. Yeah. Bye, all. Oh, right, the 16 trailer. That's very exciting. But, cheers all. Night.